Welcome back to Acadia on Air, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in for another episode of Acadia on Air by Acadia Design Consultants. We got Eric with us today. Eric, nice to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So we usually start with everybody by them explaining about their business. What is that they do? Because you're probably going to do it better than I am. So tell me a little bit about what is that you're doing.
All right. Well, so that's it. My name's Eric Aguib. When I started, we were focusing on landscape design build.
Mm-hmm.
That was our market. I decided to become a landscape architect, and because my Middle Eastern parents would not accept any other non-profession, so it had to be at least architect,
Something with a paper.
Something,
They didn't push for a doctor, but at least something.
Well, they did. They definitely did.
Okay.
Trust me, the first path was biology and medicine, and then it took me 1 year to figure out that wasn't for me. But I settled on landscape architecture, and we got into higher end, and then eventually I had an opportunity to build a heated driveway, and I fell in love with that. It came from a place where my own grandma had slipped and fell, broke her femur on ice.
Oh. Ooh.
Around Christmas time on an entrance that I actually built for my uncle. Anyways, so that basically gave me the
thinking the switch in your mind
of there's got to be a better way. So got into snow melting systems without knowing much, just doing a little bit of reading, figuring out that this is a product that exists, and I was able to install it for my customer. And then that same winter, I filmed a snowstorm in the month of March, put it on YouTube, and the comments started coming in. And then it was like, okay, well, there's so much attention on this, and nobody's doing it. So we built a company around that. The company is called snowmelting.ca. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to just be a temporary name, just because I couldn't figure out a name. Like, I'm just going to buy the domain and put it on my truck. But then it just worked, and we kept it like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to interfere with it.
It explains everything.
Yeah, and people just related to it. And people would give me, amazing name. How did you get that domain?
Yeah, I'm amazed that you got this domain. How does that happen?
Snowmelting.com was taken, but .ca was open.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm in Canada. I mean, I might have plans to grow bigger than that, but whatever, let's start here.
By that time, you're going to buy the US one.
We'll figure that out. Excuse me. So that was it. So basically, my background is from pushing lawnmowers, cutting grass, building small jobs, landscape architecture, large-scale design build, and then eventually snow melting. And then today, what we're doing is that we're teaching contractors how to install these systems and equipping them with the products that we developed throughout that decade of us doing.
Oh, you do like classes kind of stuff?
Yeah, we have a mastery course that we built.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. But the training alone is not enough. We had to give them systems and tools so that they can execute at the same level as we did after 10 years of doing this.
Yeah, because to me, it sounds a little bit scary. It's like, whatever you're doing, first of all, it's a niche.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a niche. So I definitely understand why you decided to concentrate on that. But it's such a niche that if anything happened or if anything is done incorrectly on top, you remove the whole driveway.
Yeah,
and you have to, or if you have an issue with the system itself, you remove the whole driveway. So I definitely see why education is good for installers to do it.
100%. When we built Heather is the name of the platform that we developed. We knew that I would say 1 out of 5 snow melting systems failed in the field. In fact, our company, snowmelting.ca in Montreal, I'd say 20% of our business was rebuilding heated driveways that were built within 5 years.
Wow.
It's a shame. A customer just spent $100,000 and they're going to spend another 120 just to fix it.
Well, a shame is nicely put. It's a bigger issue than just a shame.
I hear you, but I mean, like, I'm thinking these people, and like they're trying to have legal recourse against the contractors blaming the electrician is saying, yeah, I did my job right, I tested my stuff. It's the concrete guy or it's the paving guy. everybody's just passing blame.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually one of the reasons why we realized that the formula for success was offering a turnkey system to our customers.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one person you can blame. We have to coordinate the entire job, build the whole thing, and that was part of our success. And then if ever there was an issue, well, they would call us under warranty, we go fix it.
And also because it's such an expensive project and such an expensive thing to do, it kind of, you can control it better. It's the same as, let's assume that we're doing heated floors for a bathroom, and then a tile guy comes in, screws something up, and issue starts. So kind of so you would have your own tilers in this situation.
Exactly.
You would just come in, do the heated floor and everything, the full driveway.
Yeah.
One kind of.
It's like I mean, think of it as a GC that specializes in bathroom construction. So he's got his in-floor heating guy, he's got his tile guy, he's got all of his, cabinetry and whatever, and he's responsible of delivering the whole bathroom with a heated floor.
That's amazing.
So that's how we looked at it, because, and I have so many examples of customers spending money, the job failing. And then when we looked at it, we realized that it's not the product's fault. It was the
installation, yeah.
And in most cases, it was the coordination between trades. Now, I'm saying it was not the product's fault, but when we were building, we noticed a lot of cracks in the field. Like we worked with off-the-shelf products when we started building. We didn't know any better. We just called. You would call this company. They tell you, this is how the system works. We have a little 10-minute video online. You can learn how to do it. You can see it done. And we use this controller and we use this heating cable. And then you do that once, and then you promise the customer the world because you're trying to sell the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course it's going to work. I mean, look at this video. It's working. And then the first winter comes and they're like, it's working half the time, or another situation where a customer has a steep slope driveway, but like on a tilt. So it's a multi-slope. So now when the snow melts, well, that water is going to go somewhere. Now everybody online is talking about it evaporating on the spot.
Oh, no.
There is water runoff.
Yeah, definitely.
So we kind of like thought that. We put a linear drain thinking we're going to catch that water. But eventually the velocity of that water coming in on two angles ends up skipping over the drain, going into the sidewalk, going onto the neighbors, freezing there. So then we started thinking like, okay, we need a better solution for this. And being a landscape architect, having worked in the industry for quite some time, we knew that permeable pavement was going to be the future of, flexible pavement in our country.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Could you explain what that is?
Permeable pavement?
Yeah.
Permeable pavement is, you can also call it porous pavement. It's basically a system that allows, as opposed to sending the water on the surface to the lowest elevation and sending it into the stormwater management system, you're basically storing it in an underground basin. So if you build an entire parking lot, let's say Walmart decides one day they're building a new parking lot. In today's day and age, there is regulations to make sure that the water of the entire parking lot is managed on site, or at least a percentage of it. Back in the day, they would just take that water and send it into the stormwater management system and in the cities. And that's why the capacity, we keep on building. We have more and more paved surfaces, but the infrastructure is still the same size. So we're just overloading the entire system. And then if you do that at the scale of an entire city, you get flooding, flash flooding. I mean, we just lived that in Montreal a week ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So permeable pavement is a solution against flash flooding. It's an initiative to help property owners manage water on their own terrain, on their own paved surfaces. But when you're melting snow, not only does it do that in the rest of the season, but in the wintertime, as you're melting the snow, it drains on the spot, which, I mean, it's just so logical that every square foot of the entire heated driveway or walkway is acting as a drain. So we're melting and draining on the spot. We put that on our website, melt and drain on the spot technology. And customers are asking, what does that mean? So we explain to them, we have some samples, we show them, we pour the water, it drinks. But we were thinking, we did some tests in the beginning. We had like because what happens, and what happens is that the heating cables that exist on the market as of last year are heating cables. They're called embedment heating cables, and they are designed to be completely encapsulated.
Mm-hmm.
So in concrete, in sand, in stone dust. Their enemy is air. But a permeable bedding system, a permeable paving system, where you lay the interlocking pavers, that bedding layer is actually an aggregate, a 2.5 millimeter stone. I have a sample of it. I can show. Gravel.
Like a small
but
gravel.
an eighth of an inch.
So it will allow some error.
Yeah. Could I get up and show it to you?
Yeah.
It'll allow some air for sure.
Interesting.
So this,
Oh.
All right.
that's the difference. Yeah. So that there is a sand.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you would typically use. Some
To level. Yeah.
some older generation contractors are using stone dust still, but we haven't touched that in 5 years or so. The other product is a 2.5 millimeter angular stone. If I poured a cup of water in there, the same volume, half of the cup of water would fit in that jar. So there's 40% void space. There's 40% air in that one, and in this one, there's maybe 5%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So we have to build that way for permeable pavement, but the heating cables are not compatible with that. Now, we discovered that the hard way. We bought heating cables. We called the manufacturers like, no, you can't do that. Like, okay, well, let's try. I mean, is there anything on the market that can? No. So we tried on 100 square feet. One winter, worked well. We tried on 500 square feet at our first customer's house. I told her, listen, I don't know if it's going to work. But I'm taking a chance. I tested it with 100. It worked. It worked. Great. I got a 1,500 square foot driveway. I'm like, we're doing permeable heated pavement. Let's go. It worked. The following year.
So you were the guinea pig.
Oh my
Trial
God.
that.
The following year, we did a 3,000 square foot driveway and 2 of them in the same year.
And how long ago was it?
This is 5 years ago.
Oh, so it's enough. 5 winters to.
The smaller ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 5 winters.
I
And
felt
nobody
so,
complains.
I felt
Nobody
so
calls.
confident.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you, right?
And everything came crumbling down. Those 2 heated driveways at 3,000 square feet started failing that same winter.
Ooh.
And I didn't understand why. I didn't get it. Because, I mean, it's at a smaller scale, it worked. So why didn't it work at a bigger scale? Same product, same installation technique, same everything. It turns out that I just needed to have more surfaces to find out the small errors.
Explain that. What do you mean more surfaces to find small errors?
I didn't have enough of a testing ground. You know, you're working with small areas, and I guess the amount of the size of the job mattered. If the error was so fine in 500 square feet, it didn't affect it. But at a bigger scale, that small error was present.
So if a system fails, the whole system fails?
Parts of the system.
Parts of it. So it's like
If I showed
puzzle
you,
pieces?
if I showed you visuals of what that looks like, you'd have a zone that's not heating, and the whole driver's
I
in, and
see,
boom,
okay.
this one is
It's
not.
like LEDs
This
kind of
one's
thing?
hot.
Like a part will shut off?
Yeah. So to me, I thought that this whole system has a one kind of
In these,
imagine if it was electrical, one wire
yes, but
one wire goes through.
For 3,000 square feet, you would have like 25 heating cables.
Yeah. So
So
if one
so
of them fails,
Customer calls us, is like, there's 3 patches in my driveway that are full of snow. Everything else is clean.
I see.
And then I would go there and we'd get our electricians in and we would repair those patches and open it up.
Well,
try to
luckily you got permeable pavers, so you were able to.
Yeah.
The damage is not that big.
No. But every time your electrician comes, it costs you like $1,000
Yeah,
to
of
repair
course,
every
of
single.
course.
So, but at the end of the day, we realized that we could not make the heating cables and the permeable application could not be compatible.
Mhm.
So we can't redesign the permeable system. That's what needs to flow. And there's actually regulations on the quantity of water that deems a permeable system permeable.
Mm.
It has to be able to drink this much water per minute or per hour, whatever.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So if we wanted to say that we're installing true permeable systems and we wanted to heat them, we needed to design a different heating cable. And that's what we did. So we tackled the performance of the heating cables in the beginning by making sure they worked in cold climate. We created a preheating controller called Crystal, and then the heating cable for the permeable applications. Those are like the two main innovations that we brought to market. Only because...
So you got your own patent kind of thing just for that?
Yes. Is
it patented?
I wouldn't say that they're patents, because in our case...
No, I mean patented.
Yes.
Does it have a patent?
No, because in technology, for example, a small variation can make the same result, but automatically make your patent non-viable.
So that sucks. You pretty much developed something that everybody else can also use.
They could. If they opened up our stuff and started replicating it, they could.
Mm-hmm.
But they would have a lot of years of catching up to do. And you know what?
But it's fine. Then you're going to get something else on the
Exactly.
market. Better than that.
It took us to be in the field, on the ground, to make this work.
And when did you start using this new wiring?
We used it for 2 years now.
Uh-huh.
But before that, we had it in a testing lab. And we were like amazed by the ability to withstand that 40 to 50% void space. The heating cable just doesn't overheat. Because the issue with the other one is that as it transfers the heat over to the material around it, there's so much air around it that it can't transfer the heat. So the heating cable overheats itself. And then its outer jacket starts deteriorating, and then water gets in.
So it's like it's having another air insulation around the cable.
The cable is basically radiating heat, but to nothing. So it overheats itself.
Yeah.
But if it's in concrete or if it's in sand and it's fully dense
then the
and
concrete
packed,
accepts all the heat.
and the heating cable is perfect. It works very well. And in most situations, nobody runs into any problems because they just follow those installation instructions. We were just the ones that were like straying away from manufacturers' recommendations. We're like, no, we want to tackle drainage. So we did that, and thankfully we have a very good.
Which, by the way, sorry to cut you off. Permeable pavers. I don't know if you know, but this is something that in the past 5 years, the city of Toronto pushes almost every project that goes into the Committee of Adjustment for driveway or for anything because of the maximum allowed space for green space.
Absolutely.
And people in the city of Toronto specifically don't have that. They don't have enough green space, and they do want to widen their driveways. The only solution is permeable pavers. And every single project that we're in the committee for, the committee always pushes, can you use permeable pavers? Can you use permeable pavers? So it's like the number one definition in things. So whatever you're doing is actually kind of avoiding trouble in the first place. And also people that do their driveway, when they're investing so much money into it, some would have permits done, some wouldn't, of course, as you know. So you're kind of future-proofing for them because you can go with as big driveway kind of as you want. Like you will need to go to the Committee of Adjustment. They will not tell you no, as long as the drainage is sufficient.
Correct.
So that's great.
I even read last year that the city of Ottawa is giving away $5,000 grants
for permeable pavers.
If you are converting from impermeable to permeable, we give you $5,000.
I didn't know that. That's actually great to know.
So everybody that's got their head screwed on right at that level is thinking about permeable pavement as the future.
Yep.
And all the big interlocking manufacturing companies, they are prioritizing permeable pavement. They're coming up with new lines of permeable pavement, different colors, different sizes, different textures, everything to make it look just as good as the other one. It's not like back in the day where the only permeable pavement was that, big void space that you would fill with grass or fill with gravel.
It looked ridiculous. Yeah.
No. Now you have so many options.
They pretty much look like regular pavers almost.
Yes. And the only difference really is that the space between the pavers is wider than the traditional interlocking paver.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a certain percentage of it's called the
So it's the area for water drainage.
yes,
essentially.
There's a term for that, I forget. But basically
We're not going to judge you because of that.
Their percentage of allowable space for the water to go.
Yeah, for the water to drain. Yeah.
That's it. So that's what's considered permeable. And the jointing material can actually be that same aggregate.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into the joint and then can be stabilized so it doesn't fall.
Would it allow, because I never actually thought about it, would permeable pavers allow also, what do you call this? Forgot what the material that you use
For
the sand.
polymeric sand?
Polymeric sand.
Yeah.
Does it allow polymeric sand or no?
Polymeric sand is...
it actually
it prevents
the water to go in.
It has only a 3% permeability rate.
Yeah.
So that's not good enough.
Yeah.
There are two types of jointing materials to put into the joints. That product right there, which is just a 1/8 of an inch angular stone filled in between the joints. It has the highest permeability rate. Or they have something called permeable jointing grout. It feels like polymeric sand, but it actually drinks the water. It's air cured as opposed to water cured. A lot of people are using it now, but it cannot. It will never flow water as fast as that. People like it because it's easy to maintain. You can just pressure wash it and restore the permeability. Whereas this one, it might take longer for it to clog, but to clean it, you have to scrape, vacuum, and top off with more material.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there is a solution either way. People that are okay with the lower cost, but can tolerate the maintenance, and then others that want no maintenance, that are okay for pressure washing and will pay a higher premium for the material itself. So there's a jointing material each way. The point is that permeable paving is the future, and if you want to protect your surroundings when you are melting snow, then doing permeable heated pavement is the way to go.
Yeah, because otherwise you're flooding your neighbors and they will complain.
Yeah.
Which
we have a municipality in Montreal that banned heated driveways for a year. It's the first year they banned it.
Wow.
Banned. And it's one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in our city.
Because neighbors were like complaining?
Because somebody slipped on a sidewalk in front of a heated driveway and blamed the city for not taking care of their sidewalks. Meanwhile, the city's saying, no, the water is coming from the heated driveway and they don't have adequate
it wasn't
drainage.
designed. The site was not designed for it.
It's not. They probably had a linear drain, was poorly maintained, water skips over it, and there you have it.
But that's how important in your trade to know what you're doing, because think about it. You came in, you did a driveway, you're not thinking what's going to happen later, and somebody can, like an old person can just
it's dangerous.
Use the sidewalk and just fall, and it could be crucial.
I didn't realize that it's cables. I thought the whole time that it's hot water lines.
Yeah. There are two types of systems.
So, that was a question I wanted to ask. When do you know which one is better to use?
Okay, so we don't like to say that one system is better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
The way we see it is there's a system that is, every system is designed based on the building that we're building it in. Because you have restrictions in either cases. When you install a snow melting system, you can either install a glycol system that is running off of an electric boiler or a natural gas boiler. Or the other option is that you can install an electric heating cable system. So the way I look at it is if I have an abundance of electricity, I can use an electric snow melt.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have an abundance and I have a large surface to heat, I'm going to go with a natural gas system. So we always have to study how the building is equipped before specifying which system to go with. If you're stuck only on one system, then you're not doing right by your customer. You have to be the one to specify the right solution for them. Here in Toronto, very few homes have more than 200 amps of electricity, from what I hear.
Yes.
But they have natural gas.
Well, actually, most of them have 100.
So
they upgrade it usually to 200.
But they have natural gas.
Yeah.
So they're equipped with natural gas, and if they wanted to heat, 1,500 square foot driveway, there's no way they can do it with electricity. So they're going to go with a glycol system running off of natural gas. But in other provinces where electricity comes a lot easier, we have 200 amps as a minimum, and most people have a 400 in higher end homes. So we have more electricity available, and as long as we don't want to heat a huge surface, we can make it work. In some cases, people will request for more electricity to be able to do these upgrades as well, right? That's also an option. In commercial applications, we have different voltage, so we can heat larger surfaces. But there are also some other things to take into consideration, because maintenance plays a big role between the two systems. One system has barely no maintenance, the electric heating cable one, whereas the glycol system has maintenance on an annual or every 2 years.
It does?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to be okay with that.
You got to kind of calculate it in the cost as well. It's part of the
cost of electricity too.
Yeah.
Some places, there's a contractor in Michigan that gave me a call the other day. He's like, listen, I saw you guys. I want to be able to help my customer. I'm like, okay. I start looking up at the cost of electricity in Michigan, and it was like 28 cents a kilowatt. You have natural gas there, I think you should go with that solution, because it's going to cost your customer too much to operate. But in Quebec, we are at 11 cents a kilowatt. In Ontario, you're at 14 cents a kilowatt. So that's totally doable.
So we got too much electrical power.
We have the available power. So we work with that when we make our decisions. Also, when you're thinking about where you're going to send your exhaust, you're retrofitting it into an existing building. So you have to send an exhaust on the exterior of the house. You can't put it in the front of the house. There's a lot of things to think about. So it's all part of the decision-making process. When it comes to the installation, however, we felt like the landscape contractors I could teach them how to install an electric snow melting system, and they can implement it very soon, and they can get it done right. So we started off with that. And then eventually, maybe we'll create a situation where we'll have some other trades that can speak better to the glycol system, and then teach contractors how to do that, and we can grow that side of the business too. There's also, regulations and trades that are supposed to touch these products on commercial applications, and so we have to be careful on who we send to do what. That's for sure.
If I'm your client, and I want a residential client, let's not worry about commercial right now, and I want a heated system in my driveway, because it looks like there's a lot of components that come in play, and it's great that you're doing this kind of research, what's better for each client. So how would this process work? I call you in and I tell you I want a heated driveway. What would I need to know, or are you helping me through the process to realize which system? And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, so if you're calling us as a customer to do it like a design build, I mean, we have a rigorous process. Like first of all,
I would assume that most of your clients would call you for a design build.
Yeah, in the Montreal region for sure.
Yeah.
But we have some customers that are calling us from out of town, and they just want to buy the products from us and have their installer install it. Or contractors that are calling us to learn how to install it. Just they purchase the products, take the course, and start installing it.
Oh, I see. For their own clients.
For their own clients. So it all depends on the situation. But we don't just want to sell you products to sell you products. At the end of the day, if you install it and then your breaker starts tripping the first time that you run the system, it's going to be on our hands as well, the problem.
Yeah, eventually they're going to call you.
And they say, well, how come you didn't tell me that? So we always recommend that a certified electrician weighs in on the amount of power that you're requesting to draw, and before you make a decision. But we have built tools to extract your electrical consumptions,
Oh, to do the calculation.
and then do the calculations in a
Oh,
matter
that's
of
cool.
Wow,
a
that's
minute.
amazing. It's such a simple thing, but
Yeah,
then it's
yeah,
everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I'm assuming on your website you got all the specifications of the product that will explain per, I don't know how it works, but for example, if you're looking to do a certain square footage of driveway, this is the amount of power you're gonna need.
Yeah,
or
yeah. We have two kind of journeys. We have a journey for the contractor and a journey for the end user. The journey for
the
the end,
homeowner.
yeah, the homeowner, property owner, whatever they're. So the contractor, we're giving them everything they need within. They enter the square footage, and it pumps out not only the costs of the products, it pumps out the estimated labor time required to install it, but it also tells them two other important things: the total amount of power that they require, and also the estimated consumption costs on an annual basis.
That's unreal.
So when you decide, you can't walk into this and think, I don't know how much it's going to cost me every winter. No, as of now, based on averages in the last few years.
And how do this assumption work based on what previous years and
Yeah, we
because based on the last winter it's gonna be crazy.
exactly. I always tell people, and in fine print, I say this is an average accumulation of the last.
It's not like
years,
every winter is gonna be the same.
No,
winter.
no. It's not. It's not going to be the same every single time, but at least you're prepared. You can look at it as a worst case scenario or an average, but you do the math.
Yeah.
So we give all that information on the heather.com website on the spot. The customer, if they're doing the journey, we have something called our visualizer tool. So they would put in either upload an image or put in their address, their street address.
Okay.
On Street View, it pulls up the front of their building.
Google Map.
And then they can visualize it in the winter time. So Google Street View only gives you like summer and fall, spring, summer, fall images.
Yeah.
So we convert that into a winter scene. And then by using AI, we're able to.
How much AI do you use in your on your website? It's just crazy.
We've been developing this for a few years now.
Yeah, that sounds complicated.
That's very complicated. It's just. Do you have like we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. I know what you're gonna ask.
You gotta have like a team
You
that
should
pretty
ask.
much
You
does
just
that.
hired somebody. Yeah.
Well,
I'm to be honest with you, I'm so fascinated with this whole.
Yes. It's amazing.
I didn't think that there is so much to know about heated driveways, but that's why I don't want to jump into a different.
When I said before that we were equipping them with the right tools and systems was because we studied what we do for our customers day in, day out. And it literally took us, let's say, a salary of, let's say, 150 grand a year between two people to get that done. The designing, the speccing, and the evaluation of the entire system. So how could I expect a contractor that just took a course to start investing that kind of money and hiring people and training them to be able to do that? So instead, what we said is, let's invest on systemizing everything that we learned and that we implement, create tools around that, leverage AI, leverage our experience, make something that is user-friendly and quick to use. And we did that. And I can't say it's perfect today. We're always refining it because I was never in tech before. Now we became a tech company.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
It's mind-blowing how much effort is required to keep up with things and to fix things and to... I thought we were going to launch this thing last year in June. That's what I was promised by our developers. We're past a year and I still have some debugging to do.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we have contractors that are onboarded on the platform. They're using the tools. They're happy with it. And they give us some feedback. We actually, for the first 100 contractors, we told them, you're getting Trailblazer discount, 50% discount on the entire platform because you're giving us a chance and we know it's not going to be perfect from day one. The only request that we ask is that if you run into a bug, you let us know.
Trailblazer discount. I like that.
It's a Trailblazer discount. So we built those tools and it was designed to replace that $150,000 of overhead and experience that you would have had to have in your company every single year.
Calculating
so it's funny, instead of a contractor having a team to estimate everything, to do the calculations, how much power and everything based on local municipalities, it sounds like your system will do it for them.
Yeah.
And they will be able to quickly order the materials and everything required based on those calculations.
Absolutely.
You're going to have a package for them, and they just need to go and install.
You upload a PDF plan,
Wow.
right?
Like a site plan kind of
Yeah,
thing?
a site plan. As long as the area that you want to heat is on that area, you can highlight multiple areas, and then you can, once you highlight them, it's very simple. It's basically just calculating the surfaces that
Yeah,
you're
like corners
highlighting,
or something.
boundaries of the entire system, calculates the surface, you answer a few questions, and then it spits out a heating cable layout, which used to take
Wow.
days for some
Layout.
heating cable layout, Max.
Like it will show it.
So imagine engineers. Let's assume I'm a lazy engineer,
yeah,
okay?
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will use your system, and I'm sorry, maybe it's something you never thought about,
No.
but I will use your system, which is good for you, I guess, at that point. But I will use your system. It will give me a layout. I will take this layout and everything and keep working from there.
Yeah,
I don't need to design my own layout. All I need to do is to spec your company.
exactly.
Being very honest and a great guy, and just to spec your company after that. But it's amazing.
This is one of
It's
the most
amazing.
ambitious things I've heard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So speaking of engineer, again, I'm always looking from my perspective.
Yes.
How can I use your
And you're gonna like this because within a year, right now we're generating heating cable layouts on PDFs. Within a year, we're gonna generate them in AutoCAD as well.
holy crap? So you can pretty much you download it and you incorporate it in your site plan,
Exactly.
in your landscaping.
So now you can create a beautiful package when you're building that city permit application
with the details and everything.
with the details.
Wow.
Because I'm just giving you the heating cable layout. It's a layer that you take and import, and it's already to scale and everything.
So right now you would have a PDF with all the standard, there's details and all that, nothing special. You're saying that approximately in a year, hopefully,
Yes.
if everything works as it should work, it pretty much gonna give you a custom layout, I'm assuming, for this specific driveway.
No, it already does give me a custom layout.
Oh.
It gives me a custom heating cable layout based on the boundary.
Oh, so you're just saying
I'm just saying
the output is PDF.
The output is going to be
It's fine.
DWG,
You can even PDF, you can still convert it to DWG and put it in.
but all of your every single line in the document. I mean, you'd have to see it to see
Yeah, no, it's
the resolution.
fascinating.
The resolution is not, impeccable, and we're still working out some things. But you think about this: you're trying to train a model to draw like a human.
Yeah. I'll tell you
I
what.
thought it was far-fetched. We got very close. It's not perfect, but I can do it in 10 minutes. Whereas it would have taken me
Yeah, so to me, it is
6-8 hours.
Because you look at artificial intelligence, how they work with architectural drawings, it's still, it's not going to be there even the next couple of years. So the fact that you can do it, but yeah, whatever you're doing is more mathematical. So it's easier than design.
Than the
a home or
interpretation.
something. Yeah.
One thing I absolutely despise there's two things I despise about AI. One, it's making everybody lazy,
Yes.
like
True.
crazy. And the amount of people that I used to respect that now are over leveraging this tool and are not being careful with it. Like, bro, you lost all credibility because you're trying to pawn off your work as if it's this work as if it's yours.
Yep.
The second thing that I have an issue with is that in most AI tools, you are paying or credits or money or whatever for whatever the output is. If the output is garbage, you spent those credits.
Yeah.
Of course. Tokens and all that.
Exactly. So with our tools, you pay an annual access to the license or to the platform, and you can use it as much as you want. And we're constantly refining it to make it better. So, and we tell people, you have to also go in there with the right mindset. This is an AI tool that generated this. If there's a gap missing on the drawing, don't put the gap in the field. We have to put that in the fine print just to
Another thing I had to handle today, yes. Because that's how people work, unfortunately.
you gave me the plan. I'm following it to the T. I don't want you to follow. I want you to follow. I want you to interpret.
Use your brain. Use your brain. Let's be straightforward. Use your brain. Like it's funny. I had to call to my tile guy today to remind him that when he cuts a vent hole
Right.
in the tile, that there is an area vent that we use. I don't know if you know what's an area vent.
Yeah, the one that's like
it's this nice vent with that
you
has
put the tile back insert inside.
Exactly. So I'm
Yes.
like, don't forget to
keep
put
the
tile
piece of tile.
to keep the tile, to put the tile inside.
because I want the veins to match and
Exactly.
everything.
And I'm driving to meet you here, and talk to you. And I'm like,
Should I
how
tell him?
stupid it is.
Should I call him to remind
Yeah,
him?
should I call him? Should I not? And how stupid the fact that I need to do it. But you know what? It's great because he didn't say it, and it's good that I called. So same idea. Like, it doesn't matter how helpful your plans are. Yeah. If you have a gap, they gotta leave the gap inside.
It's a crazy thing, man. It's like you don't want to give you have to give the right amount of information, but you also have to be prepared. It's like your coffee mug. When was it? 10 years ago that somebody spilled hot coffee on themselves,
McDonald's.
and then they sued them because the coffee, you didn't warn me that the coffee was hot.
Yeah.
Come on, it's the same type of stuff.
Yeah.
People will always abuse, and we have to protect ourselves. Terms and conditions and this and that or whatever. But it is what it is.
But I'll tell you what, I love that kind of approach that you have, because I work with a lot of technology, and your technology is the same thing, but for your field. I work with, for example, 3D cameras, right? That take 3D images for
Surveying.
as-built drawings and surveying. Yeah. Exactly. But if you find the model of those companies, and I'm not going to put names out there, but funny enough, most of those companies are, everything is digital. You come on site, everything is 21st century. But as soon as you send them the file, it takes them a couple of days to produce the drawing. Why? Because they have physical drafters that are doing it. And I'm like, seriously, guys, we're in the 21st century. Now you're training AI to do it. Like, it would be funny to me if you would have, for example, to do all that, and in the background you would have like 3-4 guys drafting quickly the plans. It's beautiful how you can produce, and you're working on AI. You're actually getting to the 21st century, because the idea is
to fully relieve the human effort.
I don't know how to because I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to give jobs to AI instead of humans. That's not the idea. What I'm trying to say is that this kind of technological company should not rely, in order to give the best service, on humans wasting time.
No, absolutely.
I don't know if it makes sense.
No, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
I think that's
why it's
the whole goal is to be able to. I mean, in our case, the issue that most people had with traditional heating cable manufacturers is that you would send in your plan, and then you would wait a day or two to get a price, and then if you liked the price, then you would wait a week to get your drawings. So we didn't want that anymore.
Because there's a person there sitting and
of course, and
calculating
it takes time. And like, if you're sitting, and if you show up on my file, and I'm the drafter that's doing this, I don't just have your project to work on. I got a backlog of projects, and I have to have a system. I got to do it in order that they came in, or whatever it is. So it takes time, and then it bottlenecks the situation. Whereas now, if I have the plan, the starting plan, I can, within 10 minutes, I literally have a bill of materials, and I can check out if my customer gives me okay. Or I can just put the square footage and have the budget in seconds. Yeah. So it depends how the level of detail you want. You're speaking about that, and it reminds me of a story I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but
allegedly,
when Elon Musk was asked about his self-driving cars, and people were questioning, like, how safe is it for the actual car to drive for you based on sensors and stuff? He was like, "Are you guys crazy? You think that there's actually people that are watching the cameras and autopilot, like operating the car remotely for you." So there is a point in time where technology, in the beginning,
yes,
there is a point in time with technology where we sell a dream, but we have to back it with humans.
Yeah.
Now
I don't know if that actually was.
I don't know, but
no.
Look, I don't know. We're gonna have to pull it up.
But it was
Find
like
the clip.
The magician does not reveal his
I think he could be sarcastic with somebody about it, because if you have not a stupid question, but I mean a funny question Do you actually have AI or people sitting down? Like, I don't think that.
Well, I mean, they definitely did that, but it was probably in a parking lot, not on the highway, right? So,
First of all, or for some testing.
yeah, exactly.
Not like
exactly, yeah. for
cars on the
testing
street, no way. But also, you know what it reminds me? It reminds me when I was watching this documentary not too long ago about how robots came about, and when Elon Musk was doing, because you reminded me, Elon Musk is what do you call Tesla? What do you call this?
His robot? I don't know.
The robot. What's the name?
I think it's literally a Tesla robot.
Tesla robot, right? So, anyways, it was so
Tesla
advanced
bot.
and everything. Yeah. So, in Russia, apparently, the Russian president said, "Well, we gotta have our own robot or whatever," and they actually introduced a robot. By you know what
I
I'm
see where
saying?
this is gone.
They introduced a robot. They brought him on stage, and it was just a human inside.
Oh, there you go.
So you know what?
Show business, baby.
So everything can happen, you know what I mean? And they actually, because they didn't have anything and they wanted to compete with the US, and they literally brought a person.
It's all about optics. No, but look, in all fairness, like when I look back at what we've built in the last 2 years,
That sounds amazing and a lot of work.
it's a ton of work, and it's not just the work of the guys developing. Because they're putting in a ton of effort and energy, and they don't always get it right from the first shot. Because we're all innovating at the same time. There's no blueprint on how to do this stuff. But the work of our team to constantly keep up with our customers, to make sure that we support them, and then relay the feedback back to the developers, and then organize by priority what they should be working on to solve problems. And it's literally a full-time job.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job to keep up with the development that we're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking to you about the platform, but we also have our preheating controller that we developed that has been in development for 8 years and used to be on a web app until last year, when we told people that we're moving to a real app, because we wanted to give them like real notifications on their phone, and we wanted to say like, hey guys,
I think we gotta invest in your company.
My mind is blown. Right?
So that work too. It's like, and the thing that made it. I mean, we did raise some money to make this work, but we ran out of it very quickly.
Now, listen, good for you.
Right now, it's our construction company that is helping us keep up with these overhead costs that we didn't have before, to make sure that everybody's working, and then to make sure that we're fixing every bug, that we're developing the latest feature that we promised our customers from last year, and so on and so forth.
So let me ask you another question, because it looks to me all your journey so far, and tell me if I'm correct. You were doing landscape architecture, and you realized that there is nowhere to go from there besides landscape. It looks to me like you found a niche, you kind of downgraded into this niche, you started to develop specifically this niche, and now you got a full infrastructure and a full ecosystem that you're building around it, which is great. But my question is, it looks like the future of your company, at least to me, and that's why to me it sounds great, is you're learning. It's not about only that. You're learning to optimize this product to the point where it's going to work so great. What's the next step? Is it going to go into plumbing as well? Or are you going to be able to create the same kind of infrastructure? Because now that you know how to handle water management, you know how to handle all this piping, you're going to have, let's assume, okay, I didn't work with them personally, but better product than on the market to develop your own stuff. Are you thinking to expand, let's say, into plumbing a little bit more, into HVAC, into electrical?
I think
what would be the next step? Because clearly it's getting there.
We knew that what we were building,
it's very unique,
could have been more than just snow melting. We knew that.
Of course.
We knew that we could definitely tap into in-floor heating as well. Any radiant heating, we knew we can build a platform for. And when we were looking to decide what type of e-commerce system we were going to use, it would have been so much easier if we just used a shell structure that already works, but the integrations that we had to put together, the customization
Yeah.
would not allow for any
You
of
got the
these
biggest
features.
thing ever. You got the knowledge. You got the AI solutions for all those things.
So you couldn't use another e-commerce site. So we had to build it with enough flexibility to be able to work with. And maybe today it's not compatible that way, but it has the ability to be. Was that we wanted to also eventually allow other manufacturers to host their products on our ecosystem, on our platform. If they were to do that, then they can sell through our platform, and
so you're becoming
their
the
customers can use our tools.
Amazon of
Shopify, I guess.
Of the radiant heating world.
Yeah.
wow.
Look, I don't want to stray into that yet. I have so much work just to get the snow melting
No, but it's
down
interesting
pat.
because
It can happen. It can happen, and we definitely thought of it because when we
you got the basic tools. Sorry for cutting you off.
it's okay.
Not only that it can happen, I find that what you're doing right now is the basic tools. It's like you're inventing the wheel, but eventually you're going to be able to use this wheel for bikes, for bicycles, for cars, for you got the wheel.
Yeah, it's a pretty good analogy.
So pretty much the way I look at it, you're bringing first of all construction really into the 21st century, which is, I haven't seen something like that yet. You are creating what we're discussing here. It just, I don't know if you understand how big it is. I'm actually very surprised because all that eventually, what we're doing, permit drawings and all, and engineering is required because you need those services. Now, right now, you created a service that will give engineering for heated driveways with pretty much all the calculations, everything that really the municipality requires
Yes,
for permits.
and people building.
So
it.
if the next step is plumbing and the next step is HVAC, so you are pretty much the, what would you call it? Your company is the key to that kind of approach where, and that's what I was saying for a long time, that eventually engineering might disappear because of AI.
Yeah.
Right? Which is fine. You don't need to feel bad because that's where it is. If I need to go to a guy to get my permit drawings and then go to you or somebody like you to hire you to do the flooring system, you would want to go to somebody who has everything under the same umbrella.
Right.
Right? So you're the pioneer. I guess that's my word that's the word that I'm looking at. And yeah, just thinking at Amazon, I remember when Jeff Bezos was talking about books to be sold over the internet, people were making fun of him. What are you talking about? You got a store, you're going to the store, you buy a book. No, so this is not it. So I'm very surprised because I see, in order to do something like that, I personally believe it's not about everybody can think that they can do it, but you're going to have already the algorithm and everything required to create those kind of systems,
Absolutely.
all those secrets.
And I feel like the difference is a lot of people are okay to follow everybody else. They're okay to do what works. Hey, it's worked, it's proven, I'm just continuing on that route. I still can't sway landscapers to, I talked to you about stone dust earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't convince certain landscapers to switch from stone dust to 2.5 millimeter stone just because they're wired that way. It works, it's proven, it's been good for me, I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, because if it works, why change it? And I'm being
Why change it?
sarcastic.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No.
That's what everybody actually
I
thinks.
agree.
Yeah.
My nature, and I believe one of the reasons why our company has been successful is that we are always challenging the status quo. We're always looking at how can we do this better? And it can be something so simple. It's wired in me. The other day I was we had a Saint-Jean, Quebec holiday. A Quebec holiday, we're at a park and there's 10,000 people in this park and it's on an island off of Montreal. Mm-hmm. We're all there, we park the car, we have a great time, fireworks and everything, and now it's time for everybody to leave. But there's like security people that are controlling where the traffic is going to be because there's a bridge and there's only one access in and out and there's only got 3 lanes or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm there. I'm taking my sweet time. I get there and I'm in the car and I'm parked behind a line of red lights.
Yeah.
And then at first I sit there a minute, 2 minutes, and then I'm like, there's no way.
There got to be something.
I'm
better.
opening the map. I'm opening the map in front of me and I do a U-turn. And then I hear my daughters in the back go, Daddy, what are you doing? I'm like, Ilyana, just watch. We're going to find a way out of this. Literally, I took the small streets all around that little island. And if the park was here and the intersection to go out was there, I simply just did this and came on this side, no traffic at all, beat everybody, and then went and left. I got out of that island in 7 minutes.
Wow.
And there was only one car in front of me that did the same thing. So there's two types of people out there. It's either you are going to choose to be a sheep and follow everybody else. And it's okay. Some people, it's okay for that.
It's okay to be a sheep, I agree.
You know, it's okay to be like that. It's just, what are you comfortable with? I'm comfortable to know that maybe I'll get lost, that maybe I'll get to the other end and realize that they blocked it. I'm comfortable to take that risk because I know that there's also the potential that I got my family home in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
As opposed to waiting an hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever.
You see, I've done it once. I was going on the 407 and we were also late somewhere and there was traffic and I'm like, I'm going to take a different route. And my wife goes, listen to the GPS, listen to ChatGPT.
Waze.
Or Google.
Listen to it. I'm like, no, don't worry, we're going to get there with that. Until today, my daughter is making fun of me how stupid I was. So good for you for succeeding.
Hey, it doesn't always work.
Yeah,
I told you there's a risk.
But you take your chances.
You take your chance. I mean, what do I have to lose? Either I sit there or I I burn a bit more fuel to get to the other end and realize that I come back.
Yeah.
So it's an adventure. And that's what this whole process is about, is that you have to be comfortable to stray out of what everybody's doing. That controller I was talking to you about before, the crystal preheating controller. It's the first snow melting controller that does not require a local sensor. Snow melting systems before this controller relied on a local snow detection puck or an aerial sensor. When you're in this field long enough, you realize that the one thing that fails in snow melting systems the most is that sensor. And not only does it fail, but in some cases it actually consumes, but it tells you that it's snowing when it's not.
Yeah.
So you can
lose power.
You lose power. And we knew that because we monitored when the snow comes and we were collecting data and we would look and then we would go out there and we would dry the puck completely and then we would put on a timer and we'd wait. And it'd be like, it'd take 12 hours for that sensor to send a signal to say, I'm finally dry.
Oh, wow.
It hasn't snowed in 12 hours. This guy's burning how many kilowatts per hour?
That's crazy.
So, all to say that we said, let's try to make a controller that does not require a local sensor. And at first, it wasn't perfect. In fact, we probably missed like 20% of the snow events. And then we missed 10% of the snow events. And then we missed 5% of the snow events. We continued refining the algorithm.
So what does it rely on then if it doesn't have a sensor?
So our
like local apps or like
our preheating controller is a software as a service controller. It has one piece of hardware and it relies on the internet to connect to our weather servers to be able to detect when the snow comes.
Wow.
Yeah, but hold on. How can it be very accurate?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It took, once we developed the product for the first time and decided that this was going to be an actual replacement for sensors.
They always say don't trust the weather channel.
I know. But the weather channel is actually, if you study the weather good enough and you corroborate the results from different sources, you can actually get something pretty accurate within 24 hours.
Yeah. The ones that the airports use.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you more details that you will not want to tell me because I'm that kind of guy.
Hey, ask away, man. If I can't answer,
I'm just interested in what other, like for example, Waze, right? The whole model of Waze is that it uses the drivers to communicate and understand better where the traffic is and where everything. are you using some kind of, are you tapped into a certain service like that that would give you the information about local weather?
Not for that. We're paying for sources of information we're paying for weather sources of information, and we are refining that data and corroborating it, or I shouldn't say corroborate. We are evaluating it against our algorithm. We decide when to turn on the system, under which conditions, under how much snow, under how cold. We decide that. So we just have to have the source of information. And if we're able to create a rule that has enough variations and be strong enough, we can actually turn it on at the right time.
Well, listen, sorry for the stupid question. I really need to get to the bottom of it. So, you know how it can rain like 20 feet away, but not here?
Right.
So if it snows, let's say 5 houses away from me, and I'm using your system, so the system will still go on.
5 houses away, we're following the same information, but we use postal codes. So it's not by city, it's by postal code. So if we have this, if we share the same first 3 digits of our postal code, we're getting the same weather data. And for me, that's good enough.
So it will go on, assuming that. So if it says it's snowing on my postal code, but there is no snow, it will go on regardless.
If it says it's snowing, but it's not snowing.
So if the postal code, if let's call it the weather.
Typically, when it says it's snowing, it's snowing. If it says it's gonna snow, but it doesn't actually snow, that's a possibility. But what I'm telling you is that within 24-hour window, it's pretty accurate. And then when you get to 12 hours window, it's even more accurate.
And also it doesn't need to go on right away.
That's it.
So okay, it doesn't need to go right away. So even if it snows for like half an hour, your system detects that there is snow in this area based on sources, and then it will go on.
The thing about our system that makes it unique as well, apart from the fact that it doesn't have any doesn't require local sensors. You can add local sensors to it if you wanted to, but it doesn't require it. Is that we also, I told you guys earlier about the first problem that we had is that we would install snow melting systems, and then customers would call us and be like, it's not working right now.
Yeah.
And then we would tell them, well, we go and we're like super nervous and we check everything. I'm like, look, it's drawing power. Why is it not working? Well, because it's minus 15 outside Celsius. And
so
it's dumping snow. So it's heating underneath the snow. It's taking time for it to climb in temperature hot enough to melt the snow. It's just going to take time. So you're only going to really feel the result of the heated driveway or walkway near the end of the snowstorm. That was the common problem, and it was universal throughout all snow melting system controllers. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to anticipate when it's going to snow, turn it on in advance, so that by the time it snows, the ground is warm enough to melt it on the spot.
Oh, that's amazing.
So if we are off by 30 minutes, it's not the end of the world. Yeah. I still preheated enough to get there. And if you have the mobile app, you can preheat. The third year of us giving customers the mobile app, the user interface, we gave them different preheating profiles. So somebody could heat conservatively, somebody can heat moderately, and somebody can heat aggressively. Because no 2 people have the same pavement composition. Some of them are insulated, some of them are not. Some of them want to micromanage their system. Some of them are okay with an inch of snow piling up, but some of them want it bone dry. Everybody's different. So you're able to select which mode you want to operate in and then let it ride. And you can switch from one to another. But to come to your earlier question about using that Waze model, I found that super interesting because that's exactly what I asked our developers to do. Because what Waze does that is exceptional is that it's telling you police ahead, is it still there?
Yeah.
Pothole on the road, still there. Car abandoned on the side, is it still there? So the community is reinforcing or denying the suggestion. So the only way that we can improve the algorithm to make it, as opposed to having 5% or 10% of missed snow events, the only way is that we can have enough eyes on the ground to tell us if our system turned on early enough. Did it turn on too late? Is it steaming? So that's why we transitioned to the mobile app, because now on the mobile app, you will, during a snow event at different times, and not all the time because we don't want to be pinging everyone for no reason, but you will be asked to say,
Get a notification. Yeah.
is your driveway clean or is it steaming?
Oh, that's awesome.
So now if you
Or
click,
don't forget to turn on if your driveway's
well,
would ask you
Well, it should
manually
have
to
turned
turn
on, I
on.
guess.
no, that's all done automatically.
Yeah, yeah.
But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to say, if all of a sudden in that snow event, everybody said their driveways are steaming,
Mm-hmm.
that means that we turned the system on too early in that temperature scenario.
But also, I'll give you another way that might work for you. And I don't know, tell me if that's something that would work for you. If somebody using, I'm sure there are other systems or something like that. If people are using some kind of systems through Alexa, Amazon, or others, and whether you could interact with this information.
100%. And
Pay them to get this information.
as opposed to it showing
and
up on
that's
your
how
phone,
pretty
your
much-
Alexa will
yeah.
speak to you in the house and be like, is this happening or not?
Mm-hmm.
Is your driveway clean?
Yeah.
Yes, Google.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly,
Alexa.
exactly.
Yeah, because everybody who uses Google, for example, for those purposes, you would get their information.
Well, my question is, do you have to pay for the API access? Do they charge for that?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
I see. So if you put a sensor, then you would basically have a two-step verification system, right? If you add a sensor to this. So like you said, let's say it said it's going to snow. It did not snow. And there's also a sensor that says you otherwise, then you have a two-step
Exactly.
system.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you see, I have tons of questions about it. I just don't want to
Technical.
make be too technical to make this podcast about that.
Yeah,
But
fair
yeah, I have like million questions about this sensor situation. I guess the best would be to do both, to have a sensor.
Well,
and,
yes and no, because like I explained before, the sensor oftentimes will give you
False reading.
false readings.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, if the sensor doesn't work, but the app says
If it
it
fails,
needs to go on,
yeah, but one of them has to be the master. And if I was to decide who the master is, it would be the one on site
Yeah.
because he's got the actual snow
yeah,
event.
no, it's,
But if the sensor itself is telling me it's snowing, but it actually isn't, then that's a false piece of information.
Yeah.
And then I can be potentially over consuming for my customer.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about some lighter stuff.
Let's go.
What pushes you? What drives you to become? I'm also a little bit like that.
This is
when it
lighter?
comes to what I'm. Yeah, this is a lighter question. I'm also kind of like that. Everything I'm doing, I'm trying to automate and to. What brings you to the point of, let's get a business around the community of. You're not really. Your business model is not doing heated driveways. It's a great part of what you're doing, but you got a full model of having a community of teaching installers and doing it right and all that. What pushes you towards it, and what got you to even think about it?
At first, I needed to find a way to grow the business. And I've been in construction for ever since I'm 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it always relied on me executing the work, my team executing the work under my supervision, my partner executing the work. And at the end of the day, we felt like the energy that we were putting in was far greater than the reward we were able to reap. I would love to say that if we charged twice as much, it would be worth it. But at the end of the day, I don't know what the other contractors feel out there in the industry. But at the end of the day, the way
There's
I
a certain
feel,
market cap.
the way I feel is that the only people truly benefiting from your services are the customers themselves. Because if you are an honest contractor that does high quality work, you'll always put your customer first and you'll always deliver more than what they expect. They're still paying the same amount of money. And you got the job because it was fairly priced. For value, right? You're a good contractor, you charged well. But I'm just saying that at the end of the day, it's hard to make, it's always hard to earn that money. When we got into snow melting, it became a bit easier because we had less competition. And that's something that we try to explain to the contractors out there. Like if you're trying to set yourself apart, find a specialization. You could decide to be the fire pit master, the fire guy, grilling and this and that. That could be your thing. You could be building pergolas and you provide shade and shelter and outdoor living conditions. Get that whole concept of like pretending like you're indoors, but you're actually out. Or you can choose snow melting systems and fight the whole winter, fight the winter problems that we live in our northern climate. Whatever it is that you choose, the specialty that you choose will help you have develop a niche and have less competition around you. And now if you become a specialist in it, you can charge what you're really worth. So part of the motive was to generate easier profits.
Mm-hmm.
Then we thought, well, we got the snow melting down, it's working, and a lot of people are happy. How do we scale it? We knew that it would be very difficult to, we knew that we could not only take care of that layer, and we had to offer turnkey because that was the recipe for our success. To do turnkey, we would have either had to purchase other landscaping companies all over the country or sell them franchises. But we could not just be like a lighting guy that just comes in, has partnerships with the landscapers, does a layer, and gets out, because it still doesn't solve the problem of protecting the entire system and the customer's best interest.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to find a way to scale this so that we don't continue relying on our constant effort to get our hands in everything. And then we thought, well, what if we just train them? Because if I try to sell a franchise to a landscaper, I know those people. I am one of them. The first thing that's going to come to my mind is I could do what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
need you
figure
for
it
that.
I'll figure it out. It's got to be such a amazing sales pitch to convince me. But first of all, I don't have a couple $100,000 or $50,000 or whatever laying around that you're going to convince me this is going to solve my problems.
I'm just going to buy a truck and do it myself.
That's what they're going to say. That's what we thought anyways. So then we said, look, let's just try to systemize and let's give them the tools they need and the training they need. And what reinforced that for us is us creating content online, talking to people, telling them about our problems, telling them about our solutions, what we're doing, and then contractors writing back. What about this? How do I do that? And then it became like, okay, now we're talking about a sense of community. Now we're talking about we might actually have a purpose beyond just earning money and scaling this business. We can actually be helping these contractors. And Max, I tell you this, there's very little things that I feel are as rewarding as these last few months of my life. Because when a contractor calls me today, he's like, I'm running into this situation. Can you help me out? And then you're there and you give him a solution. He's like, oh man, that's great. Thank you so much. I saved that guy trouble that I had that cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars just because I went through it and I shared it with him, no problem. And that guy goes on and is like more confident now because he knows that Eric and his team at Snow Melting, the snow melting specialists, they just advised me on this and I don't have anything to worry about. So we have a purpose in the community now to support contractors and to help them and to hopefully bring them up to become, to gain a little bit more freedom in their life, where as opposed to working like the dogs that we've been working forever in the landscaping industry, they could probably work 25% less hours and go earn 50% more.
But you see, what also fascinates me is just how does a contractor like you changed hats. And not only did you change hats, every contractor goes from hands-on to general, or hands-on to having their own business. You change your hat to engineering. Everything I hear from you is a huge part of it is engineering. What you're doing, you're not engineering like construction engineering.
Right.
I mean, you're a product engineer.
Software engineer.
Software, it's like that's what Elon Musk is doing, right?
Exactly.
He went from just building stuff to he's not an engineer, but he became an engineer.
He's a visionary.
So how the hell How the hell? How does a person, contractor,
I'll tell you.
becomes all of a sudden a product software engineer? That's the biggest part here.
For me, it was like when I started, before I jumped into this, I called the manufacturers. Like, bro, there's a flaw in the system. It's very simple how you're going to solve it. You just have to turn on the system in advance.
Mm-hmm.
We did think about that, but it's, our products are working for most people and that. Okay, so luckily we're working on it.
And they don't want to invest. The idea is they don't want to invest.
So they told me we're working on it. We'll work on it. Don't worry about it. A year goes by. Call them anything. Try another product on the market. Another year goes by. So any news, any of that, I've been installing these systems and I don't know what to tell my customers anymore. And at the end of the day, nobody did anything. I have no knowledge in software, no knowledge in coding, none of that. I'm a hands-on guy.
Yeah.
You give me a quick cut and pavers and I'm going with it. That was me. But I just knew there was a better way, and just knowing there's a better way. And if nobody wants to do it, well, heck, that year, if we made $50,000 of profit, let's just hire a developer to create a proof of concept. And we did. And you should have seen this thing. It was like literally the light bulb turning on was the proof of concept. It needed to all work. And the light bulb turned on, it means we're turning on the heating cables. And we did this little mock-up.
A diagram.
Yeah. And it was like an electrical diagram with a code and everything, and a beaten up computer in a basement. That's what it was. And that was like 9 years ago. And for me, it was the same thing as that, standing behind all those cars or trying to find another way. And our team, like, I would not have been able to do that if I was alone, because the time that it took us to develop and create was time I was taking away from the actual construction business or the architecture business. So everybody had their role to play. We had somebody designing, we had somebody executing, we had somebody answering the phone and doing customer service, and everybody had to put on more weight on their shoulders to allow us to go and build that, apart from the financial strain that it put on us, right? So,
That's another question.
And that the whole company worked as a whole, and now those people, I look at them, they're not employees, bro, they're family. They believed in our vision.
Yeah.
And when it was like, when we dumped in all that money and now it's time to make payroll and our customer didn't pay us on time, and I'm coming to them and be like, guys, I need a bit more time. Can you hold on with me? They're like, absolutely. How much time? I'm thinking like 2 weeks. Give me a month max. And you make it work. And then you're putting financial strain on your family, of course, right? I can't speak to how supportive my wife has been through all this, and like we're raising children and my family. And she's like, how many years has she told me, my God, where would we be today if you just took a landscape architecture job working for a firm? How much money we would have saved. That backyard you've been selling me on all our years in this home would have had it, So we're putting so much strain on everybody around us, but it's only because they believe in the greater mission that we're able to do this, right?
So speaking of the business itself, how many people are employed in the business?
We are about 12 today.
12 people. So you got engineers, you got...
We have some guys in the field that are still working. And my partner is taking care of the supervision and the project construction. And then I have...
At this point, it's statistics. It's not only driveways.
Yeah, well, he doesn't do much of the
product.
statistics part, but he executes the work. And it's funny because like every time we try to just save a corner or do something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I got to remind him, like, listen, it's not your pocket anymore. It's not our pocket anymore. It's not even about us. Everything that we do, we're an example to everyone. And we're constantly filming, we're constantly doing. So think big picture all the time. Customers first, community later, we're last, Just focus on that. And even creating content. I'm so on top of these guys about this. set up the GoPro properly before the job starts. Like, Eric, we gotta work. What is this stupid bullshit about the content? I'm like,
that's
the
a hard
content
one,
is
man.
what's paying us, man. Because one day everybody's gonna know because of that shot you filmed, because you're making a video explaining how it was built.
Yeah.
But they just want to work and get the job done so that we can move on. So everybody's playing their role, and it's a key part of the puzzle everywhere, and that's how it's able to make it work. So so we have guys in the field, and then we have guys at the office, and now my other partner Vince, who used to be project manager, now he's putting more weight on our.
Oh, he used to be your project manager.
He's my partner, but his role in the company was project management and HR. So now he's project management, HR, and also supporting the developers. So you can see how like everybody's stretching thin and everybody's making it work. And then now our inside sales, customer service is no longer just doing inquiries coming from Montreal, now doing inquiries coming from everywhere. And to put on the hat, like the Heather hat and then the snow melting hat and then the Aguib Creations hat, and it's like all the time juggling all that. And like, they're just they're such great people.
Okay, so snow melting is the contractor, Heather is the technology.
Yes. And then we have Hugin, which is development of the products. So Hugin manufactures the products, Heather distributes the products, snowmelting.ca installs the products in Montreal. And then so Heather also is the one that distributes and trains everyone in North America right now.
How do you know when the weight on one person's shoulders has gotten too heavy and now it's time to, get help?
It's already been there.
Yeah.
It's already heavier because you can see that everything that we do takes more time. Everybody's
the bureaucracy grows all of a sudden.
We're spread so thin, right? So like a task that would typically just take a day to do is now taking 3 days because everything is pulling you in different directions. And then one day when we're going to have the resources, we'll be able to invest and spend the salary on a person to train them and to put them in the right role, and then finally delegate specific roles to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll come with time. But right now we're still in a position where we need to continue to hold more weight.
So let me ask you a question about resources. Is it something that you bring in from the businesses that currently work, which means your main business that brings the dough is your construction business?
Yes.
Or do you also raise capital for it?
So we were able to raise capital in our first round.
Mm-hmm.
We convinced a few banks to pull together and to give us
banks.
Yeah, 3 banks. We raised about 1.1 million, and we burned that very quickly.
For development?
Of course.
Development. Yeah. But that was just in the last 2 years. Before that, it was everything on the back of the construction company, like every little thing we needed to do on the products, and then the R&D, and then the failing systems that we had to rebuild.
Yeah.
Because we talked about those systems failing.
Yeah, so you got
we had to actually go fix them.
Yeah.
And after fixing them for so many times, I said, we have to rebuild this. I mean,
that's what I meant by statistics, because all the sites that you actually install, that's what brings you the data from what's going on. So those are the statistics.
We have a spreadsheet that has like 50 different characteristics. And for us to figure out what was the problem, where was the problem, why was the heating cable not working, why did it work on 100, 500, and 1,500 square feet and not more? What was the variable that turned it? So we evaluated that. We studied all that. We tried to get government funding for R&D, and we got peanuts at the end. I mean, the claims we made were big. We got audited, and they didn't find most of the stuff admissible and all that. But at the end of the day, it was the profits that we reinvested every single year that brought us to where we are. And I dream of a day where this company or this group of companies is able to generate profit and help communities with it beyond the service that we offer. But like, for example, with Heather, we want to donate 1 heated entrance for every 50 snow melting systems that we sell. So, you know how many mothers fall on daycare walkways, carrying one kid over here, slipping, pregnant at the same time, breaking an arm? That's happening every day in our climates. The freeze and thaw condition, the meteorological conditions in our country are very difficult. The temperatures fluctuating 15 times in a winter, going from freeze and thaw in a winter, making it very difficult for anyone to keep up with snow and ice. So you add, these people don't have the resources to spend 30, 40, 50 grand on that walkway. A retirement home that needs a ramp heated, they don't have the resources to.
Yeah, and the solution that we have right now, they're damaging. Whether if
the icing salt and
if it's salt and or even sand, it's not really helping.
No, not for ice. Ice is a killer, man. Ice is a killer. I fell 5 times on my own driveway. I know so many people that had concussions, broke this, broke that. My own grandmother broke her femur, spent 18 months in a hospital, lost all kinds of weight. She walked out, she got out of there, she can barely walk.
Yeah, listen.
Very dangerous.
There's so many stories. Everybody has either slipped or fallen or knows somebody that has slipped and fallen.
Listen, my better half, she's such a liability. She will walk on a straight floor, she will fall. She's that kind of person.
I forget even giving her a nice.
Love you. She's that kind of person. But I mean, yeah, so specifically when it comes to ice and happened before and all that, we got different people. They're all, the whole...
And that's it. People are getting older.
Clumsiness is a thing.
So we figured, let's do this little initiative. And I have more initiatives too that I want to put together. Like I want to build a non-for-profit that actually is able to, almost like a Robin Hood effect, where we take from the wealthy and give to the least fortunate, but without making out the wealthy being bad people. They just have the resources. You're buying a heated driveway from us. You're spending 100 grand. Donate 5%. I take that 5% and I'm going to do something and help other people with it.
It's an amazing idea.
If we do it together, not just snowmelting.ca, but all the landscape contractors out there installing snow melting systems, if we collectively sell the idea that Mrs. Jones or Mr. Jones that's investing this money, would you like to contribute for this specific cause? Today, the company that we work for that's hosting these projects, they have this initiative. Would you like to contribute? Imagine what we can do.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's an amazing idea and an amazing thing you just said. So my question is, are you also working on a solution? Clearly, all those solutions are for people that can afford it.
Yeah.
Are you also working for, or are there some solutions that are there or coming up for regular, like affordable for regular people?
It's obviously, like today, the component that costs the most in a snow melting system is the control panel, then the power distribution panel. Put it into perspective, if you were to install a 600 square foot heated driveway, you would spend $5,000 on the panel and about $4,000 on the heating cables. So the heating cables heated the area, but the fixed cost, whether you installed 400 or 600 square feet, you would still have to spend that $5,000 on the panel, plus the electrician to hook it up and this and that.
Not so bad. Too far. Like so far, not too bad.
Right, but hold on. This is nothing. You got landscaping part.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that, like we
cute.
That's what I'm saying. It's so far.
Yeah. I'm just referring to the cost of the products here.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now, if we were to scale our operation big enough, what's inside of that power distribution panel could potentially be a circuit board with independent relays attached to them. And we can print those circuit boards for a lot less than manufacturing an entire panel and having Canadian workers wire the entire thing one by one, bringing the cost of the panel to this price. So if we can get to a point where we can mass produce our components, we can bring that cost down by half. If we bring it down by half, then now it becomes a lot more affordable for the middle class to be able to afford a snow melting system. And don't forget, there's also the operating costs that people don't necessarily have. So even if you have the money or you can finance the purchase of the products, you still gonna be able to run the system. So we have, for example, we did some work for a house in a less fortunate neighborhood than we typically work in, but they had somebody that had a reduced mobility.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to create a heated path for their son to walk out the door, get to the curb, and then a taxi would come pick him up to go to work and then come back. So we just wanted to protect him getting in and out of the house. But the first winter when they ran the system, it cost them like $3,500.
Oh, wow.
And we told them what it was going to cost, but it was just like, oh my God, it's actually too much.
But then also let me ask you a question. Because the cost of the system, it's when you run it all the time. You don't have to run it all the time.
Exactly.
You can have, because you have the control, you can have it, let's say, for an hour in the morning, in the evening, right?
Well, the way that we talk to people that are conscious about the cost that it's going to be for them to operate it, we tell them, look, invest in the snow melting system. It's underground. You do it once and done. Your financial situation can change down the line, but at least you'll have put it at the right timing. So if you're building your driveway and you have that extra dough to put down now, put it. Now, down the line, you have different ways to operate the system. We have, I did this one reel one time where I was comparing different, like people driving different types of cars and how they would operate their snow melting system driving that car. So somebody driving a Toyota Highlander versus somebody driving a Bentley, and then everything in between. So the guy driving the Toyota Highlander, he's still a good car, very reliable, but he's also conscious about what he's spending. So for him, he'll keep his snow removal service, clean my driveway, and then once the snow passes, I'll flick on the heat for 8 hours, 12 hours, melt everything, and now I'm back to bone dry. Keep my system off, and I'm working it manually.
Yeah, manually.
The guy in the Bentley on the other side, bro,
will not care about it.
He doesn't care. If he spends $15,000 on his huge driveway, for him, it's important that it's crisp, it's clean, and when my guests come over, they're impressed.
Yeah.
And then you got the guy in the middle. You know, most of our customers are actually doctors, and we find that they're right there in the middle, where as opposed to being on the aggressive preheating profile, they're going to be in the moderate preheating profile or the conservative one, where it's important that the snow is off my property so that when I need to leave my building to get to the hospital or I come back home,
exactly,
it's always clean and crisp. And anybody visiting my property, it's always safe for them.
Yeah, just like you automate lights. They're not on all day long.
No.
You got a couple of hours if you leave early before the sun comes up, and same in the evening. That's about it. Exactly. So you can preheat your driveway, let's say 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, if you're leaving, let's say at 8:30. Yeah. And then do the same thing in the evening.
So it all depends on how you
operate it.
So take that example. The guy in the Highlander, the same heated driveway, the same size, he would have probably spent $1,000 per winter, whereas the guy in the Bentley would have spent $4,000 per winter for the same size.
But it works for both of them.
Works for both of them. They spent the same amount of money installing it. They're just running it differently based on their needs. So that's how we try to explain it to people. And at the end of the day, I think that that's a great option, because even on my place, I might consider that option. Okay. Whereas if I don't have a very expensive paving material that I'm worried, because some people will put porcelain tile now on their driveways and spend good natural stone and all that. And they don't even want the plow to go on. Yeah. Don't scratch my pavers. I've invested a ton of money in that. I want it to be crisp and clean. So if that's not the case, snow removal passes. I'm not too worried about the noise of the snow removal or the convenience of it. I'm not that high profile that I got to get in and get out, or I'm not worried that if I take a shovel out, I could just flick it on to get rid of the ice. And that's what most people are scared about. Because no matter how good your snow removal service is, there will always be a layer of snow that stays stuck to the surface and eventually turns into ice.
100%.
Let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
4 or 5 times a winter. And it's going to make it a lot easier.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that everybody... But also now I see where the government grants come in, because for an example, for all those parts that actually cost more, the board and all that, the government could easily kind of help out because it's part of. Is it not something that's the?
Like leads.
So I guess
or
what I'm trying to say is, if it costs $5,000-$6,000,
Yeah.
how do you work on? How do you get to get a grant from the government for regular people? Like, for
No.
example, the government can say, we will pay half for,
They probably see it as a luxury, I imagine.
Yeah, they won't.
but not for families that have
Right.
handicapped people in their house.
fair.
That's
Yeah,
very
that's
true.
fair,
If there is,
And there's like tons of those families. Tons.
I know that one day we need to have a talk with insurance companies,
Yeah.
because if we can reduce the liability on a building, then we can reduce the premium that they're paying.
Yeah, they want to see the statistics. Yeah.
So that's one angle. But yes, if somebody has a family member that has a handicap or a reduced mobility or something unfortunate like that, and the government is helping them out already, there might be a program that will be like, it's like, probably, I'm actually not familiar with those programs, but if, for example, you need to put a wheelchair lift inside your house,
Mm-hmm.
So we've done it.
does the government subsidize that?
So unfortunately
do?
not.
Oh, they don't. So then
Unfortunately,
they won't.
don't.
But if they did, they could have
But
subsidized
I'm thinking,
this.
why not? Right? Why not? If a person goes through a certain accident, and we also done something like we did a laneway house, tiny laneway house with an elevator inside, with a lift for a handicapped person. So now that I'm thinking about it, the government should be able to. Is there something you can research, or because you were talking to me about, you were telling us
the
about
grants I
some
was
grants.
referring to was for the permeable pavement, because
But it's kind
that's
of
directly affecting them.
Yeah, that's directly affecting them, but also, well, I guess that sucks. I think government should be able to help people.
Yeah,
I'll
because
tell you, we're broke.
we're definitely not broke, man. The amount of taxes we pay, we could be helping a ton of people.
Like, imagine a person pays taxes all their life. They pay for their cars, for their houses, for everything, personal taxes, and all of a sudden when they're
Sure.
disabled.
Let's not get into the.
But anyways, no, it's very interesting. So you were telling me, you were kind of telling me that you started it almost 10 years ago.
So it's we have been focusing on snow melting systems for a decade, but our first snow melting system was installed, I believe, 13 years ago now.
So are you right now where you were hoping to be at that time, or you're thinking that there is a lot more to do?
With the business or
Yeah.
personally?
You start.
Oh my God. I mean, I was just, I didn't get your name, by the way. I'm sorry.
Arch.
Yes, Arch. Speaking to Arch earlier, and I told him, if somebody was to ask me what the true definition of success is for us as contractors, for me to define success, or for me to say, I believe that I am successful, is the moment that I was able to give my family the things that I give people every day that I work for them. I'm a landscape architect, landscape contractor, snow melting specialist. Do you want to see my place right now? When I bought my house with my wife, I sold her a dream. I told her, honey, we're going to do this. This is our forever home. The kids are going to grow up. We're going to have a pool in the backyard. We're going to do the driveway. I'm going to build you a porch in the front.
You know what they call it?
I know.
Shoemaker without shoes.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Your developer built it.
So it's that for me, that's where I would want to be. I would want to be in a position where I can do that for my family, because I love hosting, and my wife, she loves hosting. What's one of the things that we kind of connected with when we first met? It's like,
Eric, can you pull up the mic a little?
Yeah. It's we love giving, and we love everybody being. Thank you. We love everybody being at home with us, and we're constantly feeding everybody, and we're drinking together, and it's a blast all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we do it in a very modest way, and it's fine. I'm happy with that. Like, I'm okay with a charcoal barbecue, and it's dirty and this and that. I'm cooking meat, but she wants it like crisp, clean, in an outdoor kitchen with a fridge, and you know what? That's cool too. I would love to do that. Yeah. I'm not there to be able to. And for me to do that, I gotta pull my crew off the site for a month to build my house, we're not in that position. Or I would have to hire somebody else to come and do it and then trust them without me micromanaging it, because I gotta keep up with my business. So
are you a micromanager though?
You'd have to ask them. I feel like I have high standards, and I often let people run with things to try to get their freedom to create. And then I kind of try to realign. But I don't have the luxury of micromanaging anymore. I have to be able to delegate and trust and give and hopefully give clear enough instructions so that we're not doing it.
So you would say you would need to see the big picture and then you can give your input on the details. But you would let your team to come up with the big picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's
that doesn't sound like micromanaging.
You give them the vision, and then they build it in the way they can. The issue is that I feel like we often, as managers, as busy managers, we don't take enough time to communicate the important intricacies of what we need.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, there is a lost time for sure, because we do and we redo a bit, and we do and we redo a bit. I believe also that when you get to a certain level in your business, I think Alex Hormozi, I've said it a few times now, how like you would be amazed at what you would get as talent if you spent 250 grand a year on someone, you know? So we could get to that point, and it's like, bro, this is your project. Make it work.
Yeah.
You can do this. And he can do it. And he can probably do it better than you. But today, you know, everybody is working within their own ability and is compensated, you know, probably not to what they're worth. And that's just the reality of the size of our business. And we put a lot of strain on people, and we spread them out thin, and they're wearing 3 different hats in the company. And I mean, what can you expect? You can't ask them for the moon. One thing I would love to do is to have a marketing team that is like killer, you know? I mean, I love marketing. I feel like I think one day if I was to, you know, be born in another era or something, I would strive in that Mad Men creative ad.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. But it takes real creative genius to accomplish that. And obviously, if you don't hire the right talent, you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly trying to input yourself in the marketing, well, you're not doing other stuff or whatever, you know.
So walk us a little bit through your day.
My day?
Yes. How much do you... Yeah, walk us through your day, and then tell us a little bit about how much time you dedicate to each service that you do.
How much coffee?
Yeah. There used to be a time when my wife also works, and thank God for that, because she's pulling a lot more weight. She's pulling enough weight to help us too, you know. But there used to be a day where I'd be out at 6 o'clock in the morning and back in at 7, 8 p.m. I was in the field every single day, and those were tough days. Now, thankfully, with the partners that I have, I'm able to balance out the loads at home a lot better. So some days I'll drop off the kids. Some days I'll pick up the kids. Maybe once a week I'll cook dinner, you know, stuff like that. So that's at home stuff. But everything like schooling, activities, this, that, my wife just runs it and tells me, Eric, you got to go do this. You gotta, okay, cool. I get it done. And then there's the kids' sports, we drive them and stuff. But at work, my responsibility, my only responsibility that nobody else has in the company is estimation and sales for the construction business, and product owner. So the products that we create, the big vision around them, the features that we want to deploy,
engineering,
the big picture, that's on me. And we used to have a designer in-house to do all the drafting and the plans, but at the exact time, it's almost like it contributed to us developing these tools, she moved to another country. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to
I gotta
rehire
do something
again.
about it.
I don't want to hire again and teach again how to do this and design heating cable layouts and permit applications. So eventually we built the tool, and I was hoping that the tool would just eliminate the need for her constant presence there and having to hire someone else to replace her. So, but there are still the odd occasions where I have to jump on AutoCAD and do a few little things like 3-4 hours here and there in a week, you know? So I'm the only one that does that in the company.
That's a lot. You're doing sales, which is a full-time job on its own.
Yeah.
Meeting people, talking to people and all that. And then you're managing Heather on the other side, because that's really what it's all about.
Yes, not alone though. Not alone though. My partner Vince, he's like co-founder of this brand as well. So we split that load very good. I'm still in charge of sales on that side, and he's in charge of the development and keeping up with the developers and the features and all that. And then because I'm selling the jobs to the customers, I also have to be responsible of delivering the quality that we
You're
promised.
the face.
So I pass by the job sites every now and then, and sometimes I try to close my eyes, but you know.
So if you're operating in many different places, how difficult it is to balance all that?
I don't have a very good time management routine. We were just talking about that with the team 2 weeks ago. We're like, Eric, we need to block off some time in your calendar. Like your calendar should be like Mondays, Wednesdays, you're focusing on estimates, you do your site visits once a week, you do your content creation on Tuesdays, you're filming on Thursdays. That's the other part that I focus heavily on, is creating the content. I have a great young content creator, but the ideas and the scripting and all that comes from me, and I got to be there to shoot it, you know. So that
takes a lot of time.
It does. Thankfully, a lot of the stuff we talk about just comes off natural, so I don't have to spend a ton of time, but you do have to prepare a bit. So but
you're not producing like Harmosic, huh?
No way. I think how many pieces of content do they push out a day? It's incredible.
I think he said like 400 pieces of content a day they push out or something. It's insane.
It's incredible, but that's the future.
Yeah, well, he's
next level.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
the future, when your version of AI can do it for you. I agree. When you don't need to sell, to run around, to engineer products and all that.
So I've always been looking at ways to delegate the sales and estimation part. But I feel like that is a huge endeavor. Like, you're talking about the face of the company that's going to maintain your reputation, that's going to commit to whatever they said or wrote down, and still come out on top financially. So and you should see the estimates that we built. They're scopes of work at the same time. Because to me, I'm trying to do 2 in 1. I'm trying to print a contract that establishes what we're building for the customer and what we're not building. At the same time, it's a blueprint for our contractors to use, to know what to include, what to exclude, and also a material takeoff, because everything is accurate enough in the measurements and stuff. So I spend a lot of time on that. And
so speaking, by the way, since you have a full team of developers, clearly AI, as you said, is a big part of your operation. Do you also use certain automation or bots to help you out with the day-to-day operations when you're doing your proposals, when you're doing all that kind of stuff?
There are some things we try to do. I just feel like there are so many tools out there that make it's a sea of AI tools now.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you try to learn something, you realize that it's not as great as it promised it to be. One thing that has helped me is using AI to do research. That's for sure. I'll use AI for research a lot.
Perplexity.
I'll use AI to take my script that I've prepared and say, I need this to land on 30 seconds on the mark. Condense it, keep the same principles,
I
make it
haven't
work.
found that to be very effective.
Oh my God. For me, I filmed a radio ad. I came up with this with the general picture. I pumped it into AI and I said I need it to be 60 seconds flat.
Mm-hmm.
Read comfortably. Man, on the money.
Yeah.
It would have taken me forever to do that. Little things like this will save us time. But I think one of my partner, Vince, he's like, we need to reach more people. There are tools out there that are able to scrub the internet, find you contractors that have the need or the experience in this industry and might be open to switching providers, or not providers, but manufacturers or suppliers, I should say. Let's find a way to reach out to them. So again, it's the research. It's scrubbing the internet and pulling you what should be quality leads. And then it's up to you to find a way to reach out to them without being spammy, you know?
Yeah.
I'm still thinking like these guys have no time in the world to open emails, and we should just be calling them and trying to.
You do cold calls usually?
I do.
Yeah.
On Instagram also.
DM.
I'll find a contractor. I love what you guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys install heated pavement? If you do, I can maybe help you out. Stuff like that. Sometimes it works. Sometimes
of course.
they don't. But not on an automated scale.
Mm-hmm. No.
And if somebody, I would probably invest in that. Like if somebody can come in and like actually come in and take care of it for us, not just tell me, hey, there's a tool and you spend days and weeks trying to fix it, and but like come in, learn what I need to do, and then help and take care of it. Like I want to subcontract the whole thing,
You mean
See,
outreach?
Whatever automation you're trying to do.
I find it's very difficult to subcontract things because as soon as you start doing automations for AI, it's based on certain websites and certain, like, for example, part of research. You probably do sometimes zoning research, what allowed, what not for your driveways. So if you create a bot, and I was thinking about it, we're in the process to hire an AI automation
Agent
specialist full-time because
An AI automation specialist.
automation specialist.
Also, this is a person.
Yes,
Yeah.
a person that will build automations for Acadia,
Oh, amazing.
that will do that full-time. But the thing that I found, the reason we are looking for somebody full-time, hiring somebody full-time, is because all those automations, even zoning bylaw, if I need to go and find zoning bylaws, I need this bot to pretty much go on city's website, punch in, instead of me, the address, go into the map, go into the zoning bylaws and find, in your case, for example, percentage of landscape, maximum percentage of landscape allowed, and that kind of stuff. Setbacks or whatever.
Yeah.
Setbacks actually have nothing to do with driveways. But yeah, if the city changes the link to this map, your automation gone. So you spent, let's say, $3,000-$4,000 with somebody to build this automation to you for you. And this automation would work, for example, let's say they will do different bots for like 5-6 different municipalities around, in your case, Montreal, let's say.
Yeah.
As soon as every municipality's IT guys or whoever does their website change the link,
Web
your
development.
automation is done.
Well, is there a possibility that you can add an extra rule?
So what happens is now you need, as I understand, and I did a little bit of research about that, first of all, you need to make sure that you have another bot that tests that automation
Constantly.
on daily basis.
Right.
Constantly on daily basis, daily, I said it, maybe hourly, I don't know, whatever. But tests that automation. But then they can also have this rule if you can research for it and try to find. But not always it was research right or find something correctly.
Can I say I have good news and bad news about this
What's up?
for you? So, first of all, you can train it. It's not about, it can read the website. You can do that. But the bad news is that the web developer himself, and this is happening a lot, in the website, in the code, they can prevent scanning entirely, and they're doing that now widespread because
They want to
they
protect
get overloaded with these AI tools constantly like trying to scan their website, which crashes the website.
I didn't even know that.
It puts strain on their servers to just someone because it's like someone visiting it.
It either puts strain on them, or then their provider or whatever is like, hey, you're using way too much resources, like whatever the case. So they're blocking the scans. That happens. I know because I tried it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why all those automations eventually are going to, you need physically somebody to be there to actually fix it, because all those automations are going to fail as soon as they change a link or do whatever, block something. So yeah, I find that it's very difficult. And in my case, that's why I decided that we need somebody full-time because of that. So,
I mean, they'll solve it. They'll solve it by we need computational power and electricity, and that's a
but until
big
then,
problem. Yeah,
until then, it's a problem.
But I think you're on the right track, because at the end of the day, we're trying to automate as much as we can without losing the quality of the service that we have.
Yep.
That's what's going to allow us to free up more time to do other more important tasks, or just free up more time in general because we want to.
Like, imagine a situation. I don't know how you get your leads. Where from? Let's say Instagram. So imagine you would have somebody send you a request, or your website. Okay, let's say Google website.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody sends you a request. There's an AI who would check for the quality of the lead
based on the
so
criteria that they filled out.
Not only they can research the person, they can do a lot.
Oh,
And it can. So it will give you the quality of the lead. That's crazy on its own. Now, this person, all the information, they would give you their address, right? In this lead, usually when the lead comes to me, there's an address. Before you even connect to this person, now an AI will scan the address, give you all the zoning bylaws, and prepare a quick review and tell you, oh, in your case, this is the allowable, this is the size of driveway based on scaling, let's say, maps. This is the driveway, that's the square footage, approximate square footage. This is landscape area. And based on quick calculations, you got certain percentage, you're in within this percentage. If not, you're going to need permeable pavers.
this exists?
So that's what you can automate. It doesn't exist, but you can automate it. And somebody will take my idea and run with it. But now you get to this application before you even talk to the client. Now you know, oh, because of zoning bylaw, okay, we're going with permeable pavers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to be allowed. You talk to the person, you already have. Now, this AI, this bot, can go on your own website, do all this calculation on your behalf, get you everything. And now when you're talking to your client, you have all the answer and you're like, how about I'll send you a plan and I show you what we can do for you.
Absolutely.
Bam.
We
and this is just the beginning. I'm not talking about the fact connecting CRM systems to it, so which means all the information you get goes in there. When you talk to the client, you got scripts. The script can be evaluated by AI when it comes to the prices and everything you discuss with the person. Pretty much get into it. You can have a proposal connected to it that while you talk to it, AI takes all the prices, put it in the proposal for you, and ask you just approve it and we're going to send it, or change whatever you want to be changed. This is the scope that you talked about. It can be crazy.
It can, for sure.
So
I mean, what I find the most challenging part in that is for it to,
everything.
But the one that I get like hooked up on is it being able to pull up the address, Google Maps, pull the surfaces.
Zoning maps.
The
zoning maps have your property lines and everything, right? Set in,
Is that publicly available?
Yeah. So that's
give your zoning bylaw and then yes.
Is it publicly available data? Yeah.
We one of our AI tools is the one we talked about before, the visualizer that gives you a representation of before and after, the winter scene. But it also gives you a budget price on the job, so that when the lead comes in, they do this before bothering a human in the office. Because a lot of people are just so curious about the costs, and they might not be qualified for it. So we want to make sure that they know what they're getting into before that. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we do that. we do that. But in our case, we still have to ask the customer to give us the square footage of the area they want to heat. And that's what we use to calculate and give them a price.
Yeah.
But what I wanted is that I wanted the AI to be able to scan the street view, to pull the paved surfaces.
But it's possible, right?
Everything is possible.
Think about it this way. If Google Maps has scale to it,
Yeah.
and you can teach AI what is a driveway,
Exactly. Which we've already taught them because it's able to.
and you were telling me that the way you do your pricing, pretty much you can have that as when you highlight all the points of the front yard or whatever, you can pretty much teach AI to do it.
Right.
There you go.
Everything.
Now, of course, I'm super simplifying everything because I'm not an AI specialist. I'm just a person with common sense, and I'm thinking that
Ideas.
it's all possible.
But that's what it starts with.
Yeah, but
That's what it starts with.
so that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to kind of achieve, because I realize CRM system is all nice and dandy. I was trying to have an external. Funny enough, I built an external CRM system just for my company. They worked on it for 4.5 or 5 months. They gave me the system. It was okay.
Salesforce?
Sorry,
Their own.
Was it Salesforce?
I'm not gonna use.
external. Oh, they.
Yeah, externally created. No, not Salesforce. They created a system for my office.
Okay.
Specifically, it worked for 1.5 years and it stopped working.
Nice.
And they were contractors, and by that time they were already kind of
Moved on.
out of the business, moved on. Yeah. So those are the things. If you build something custom, you have to have the support for it all the time.
That's what we're in now.
Yeah.
We're in full need of support, and we have contracts with the original developers to maintain and to refine and to fix, and then it's hard to draw the line between what was supposed to be the final product versus what is an improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because imagine trying to map this all out at the early design stages and trying to create a scope. I mean, we gave details, but did we get into every single little detail? No, we gave a big picture, and we kind of expected them to understand what we need and what, you know. I mean, if you're still selling me a car, I expect to be able to open the door, get in, turn on the ignition, and drive. It's still got to be able to work.
Of course.
But, you know, what will be your experience in the car? What will be the color of the seats in the car? Did you describe it all the way to that point? So that's where, you know, really the support comes in, because you invest one time on the development, and then you need to constantly invest in refining and fixing and debugging.
Which that's another reason, by the way, where I realized that it should be somebody on a full-time position in your office, because they literally should be able to understand your business, shadow everybody, and see what they're actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because your car example is amazing. If I'm going to come, and I don't know if you're like that, but in my case, I'm like that in my office. I'm like, I need a car. Yeah. They're like, oh, okay, this is Max. Max going to like this kind of car. Max going to, okay, let's get him something. And I'm like, oh, should have told you I need this, and that.
Should have told you, right? Exactly, yeah.
But then if there is someone follows you and they're like, oh, okay, Max need a car with heated seats, with the cooling seats, all that, with a sunroof, moonroof, all that kind of stuff, you're going to get something and you're not going to be disappointed.
Right.
So getting somebody offsite is great, but I just think this is the future. This is the future. So if this is the future, there should be someone. It's like HR, you know, you always somebody's getting fired, quitting, or a new person coming in. So you need HR if in a certain size company. Same here. If this is something full-time is going to come, you got to make sure that you have an AI specialist. And I personally think this is the future, that every company going to need to have an AI specialist.
And I agree to your point that they should be involved in the day-to-day operations to truly understand. You can't hire a remote worker to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would cost you less, but they're not going to get the whole picture.
It's like, for example, I have my one of my media companies. They're doing our Google SEO. It literally took him 4 or 5 years to really understand all the details and the little things.
Yeah, of course.
And that's 4 or 5 years of me calling, oh, that's incorrect. No, that's something we cannot put on the website. This is not something that we're going to do. You got to make sure. And you can't, like, now you got two options. You can either, unfortunately, micromanage them and read every article that comes out there. And like, but it's like, come on, we only got like a certain amount of time in a day, right?
But I love that example. And I feel like I've lived that myself. You try to delegate content creation. You're like, yeah, bro, create some articles, create some posts. How hard is it to create a post online? Well, the 3 sentences that you put, half of them are wrong. Where'd you get that information from? AI. Well, you know, so then you got to start building your own like long language model. Is that what it's called?
Large language
model. You got to build your own large language model.
Yeah.
It should be listening to you every day, learning every conversation everything you say and do. Yeah. You create a database, and now he can dive into your AI to create the content. Then it's going to be mint. You
kind of have a benefit, by the way. All of these recordings of audio that you have, in theory, you can have some kind of way for it to basically listen to what you say and learn from that.
Yeah.
I don't want to know if somebody else listens to what I say.
Well,
what happens then?
Hopefully they are.
So, Max, I wanted to ask you a question. Yeah. What is your process from the moment the customer reaches out to you for the first time to you presenting your proposal?
Okay, so wow, that's interesting.
Because you do design build, right?
Yes.
So are you involved in, do you just do design first, then I give you a quote on the design to build, or do I give you a budget with the design? Like, do they have to
it depends, but I will always ask about a budget. So a person would contact us. I will have an administrator contacting them back, and we will ask for a survey if possible. Like, again, depending what for. If it's for a new build, let's assume for a new build, they would ask for a survey so that we can actually check all the zoning bylaws, right? What actually can be built. And I think this is my leverage, that by the time I talk to then we have a Teams meeting. And by the time I talk to the client on Teams, I can already show them an approximate square footage, what's possible. Which is great, because usually when you call to design build or a designer, architect, whatever, first thing they will tell you, okay, give us the address. What do you need? Let me get back to you. Because now they need to research, or some would even say, so that's what it's going to cost. Let's say a design package in the beginning. Pay me for that, and we'll go from there. But you know, usually what happens when you get to that point, oh no, we didn't discuss this. Yeah. Oh no, we didn't discuss that. So what I really do is I kind of do my research. That's why zoning bylaws are very important for me as well. I think just like you, I do my research, and when a client comes to me, I can tell them, okay, you can build maximum, let's say 4,000 or 5,000 square foot house. It can be a two-story house. That amount of floors. What is your budget? And then we'll discuss. For this budget, we can get this. But at least there is concrete information that the client gets, because I find that people get frustrated, and I've done that before. When they call you for a price, they assume to get like a square footage price, and all of a sudden they talk to you for like half an hour, 40 minutes, and you're like, yeah, I'll send you a proposal. And you send them a proposal, and that's in a completely different range than what they were looking for. Yeah.
And that evaluation you do, that time that your administrator asks the questions and then evaluates the bylaws, do you do that? Time. Do you do all that for free?
I do that for free, because I do it for myself. Yeah. So by the time I get the meeting with them, I already have the answers to it. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is why, if I had all this automated, this free would be much, much cheaper.
100%.
Right?
100%. Now it's manually intensive.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, so that's what I'm thinking. This process, if I want to keep the client, and most of my clients that's really what they appreciate. The fact that when they come to talk to me about their house, it's not like, it could be very, very detailed on the first meeting. It could be very, very detailed because I know already what can approximately be built. Of course, based on the address, I'm going to look at the neighborhood.
You have enough experience to be able to like, if they come up to you and they say, I want to do this and my budget is that, and be like, well, listen, I gotta realign you because what you're saying is not realistic in this.
Or people going to call in and they're like, I want to build this. Well, I'm sorry, it's not going to be possible. How do you know? Because I already did my research. Yeah, but I talked to other guys. They said to do research. They need to start the work. Okay, not me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But the idea is very simple. At the end of the day, it covers me and my behind because I wouldn't want to, like, I find that clients, what they worry about the most is when the initial plan is changed due to miscalculations. If that makes sense, right? So trying to avoid that. And I think that every business in the future going to need to do it. Every business in the future. And think about it this way, by the way. So I used to teach in George Brown College, okay, architectural studies and renovations. Every student that comes out from those classes potentially can have a license. It's called a BCIN license to design a building. Now, the difference between them and me, that they're tech savvy and they're very good at that, and I'm not. So every architectural technologist that comes out of George Brown, and that's my advice to them, of course, to do that, to have this leverage, will have that bot, because it's easier. They have all the time in the world to do it, right?
Right.
Because they don't have like you, overheads, companies to build and everything. They don't have all that. So they will come out, they will build a bot that will do the research for them. They will use ChatGPT, right? They will not think themselves. They will not. So they will have all those systems from the point that they're one person. And really, they will manage those bots. Eventually, just like what you are doing, we're going to have a bot that will be able to do the drawings. So it's going to be a one-person company that does everything.
What will be the outcome is another question.
The outcome is another question. I agree with you. But what will happen is that every time that they will approach their client, they will know those zoning bylaws just like I am, for free, completely for free, actually for free.
Assuming that they've invested in those tools and automation,
right? But all the kids are this.
100%.
All the kids, they know how to do it.
You see these videos of these guys with like 6 screens on their desk. They're like, this guy's doing this. This guy's on the. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
No, this is the,
No guys, no guys. It's just a one-man operation.
I'm like, is this a dream? Are you guys like in another planet?
Funny enough.
What is this?
Funny enough, what I wanted to tell you, jumping back to your business, you were telling me how you're trying to make it simpler for all these contractors. But in my mind, I'm thinking, it's fine. In 10 years, the quality of the contractor that will come to you, it's going to be a different contractor. So you're investing into, like, for example, right now, you got Joe and their hammer, right?
Right.
And they don't really like all this tech savvy stuff, and they hate it. And you're trying to help them as much as you can. But think about it this way. This Joe will probably 5 years, 10 years from now will be out of business. And there will be a lot of young teenagers.
His son, the younger generation.
That leave the internet and they will love you and what you're doing.
Yes, agreed.
For those reasons specifically.
Agreed.
Because they are the generation of this, like I told you, this architectural technologist that love to be this one-person operation with all the bots. That's what they want as well. They don't want...
I agree with you.
To be honest with you, the new generation, and I'm personally against that, but it is what it is, they don't even like to talk to anyone. To people.
I know.
They don't like to talk to people. So, so pretty much having somebody like you who can give me... I'm a contractor. I don't like to talk to anyone, but I can go on your website again, do a couple of applications, get it all done, get the information from you, give it to my bot that can translate it and send it to my client and all that. That's the future.
Yeah,
that's the future. So for me, all those things that I'm doing and the free service that I'm giving, because it's free to the client but not to me.
No, of course not.
It needs to be, eventually it needs to be...
reduced to the least amount of...
Exactly.
Of costs to
exactly.
you. I mean, again, and on your point, we live that in our case because we can't just, if you call us and say, hey, I got 100 grand, sell me your system, I still got to figure out if it's feasible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I used to do a feasibility study with our estimates like all the time. But then I'm wasting my time as well because I don't even know if it's going to happen with you or not.
And also what happened, all those stages, sorry for cutting you off because that's important, to the sell, there are 3-4 stages to the sell, okay? To start the work. You reduce it to one stage. And in the beginning, I thought, holy crap, you're going to overwhelm your clients. They're calling you to know approximately what's your price, and you're going to overwhelm them with zoning bylaws and all that. 2 things that happened to me that I love since. Number 1, it filters who's my client.
Who's real. Yeah.
Right? Because if you call me and you know nothing about it, maybe you need to do a little bit more research. If you call me and I give you all this information, you're like, oh crap, yeah, I called the city last week. That's exactly what they told me. Now they trust me a little bit more.
100%.
Right? So first of all, it filters who is my client because I don't need to spend time to answer respectfully to everybody, to answer 30 calls when I can answer 10 calls a week and get the same amount of clients or more out of it. So this is number 1. And number 2...
but you are, like, your administrative team is still taking all those calls. They're just deciding,
by the way, yes,
which ones are going to transfer over to you.
And the one thing I'm telling everybody, I will never, I'm sorry, I will never, you know all this crap that goes online right now with AI?
Receptionists?
Never. Never. People wants to talk to people.
100%.
You can convince me all the way to tomorrow. Yes, if you are a plumber with, sitting with a crutch out and you're doing stuff, okay, maybe it's going to help you. If you're a company that provides service and all that, my other marketing company was trying to sell me that for a while. Mm-hmm. So my question is this: instead of helping me, and that happened like 3 years ago, we were like at COVID, all that issues. Instead of selling me how you're gonna give me a better business and find more business, you're trying to make me downgrade so that I can pay you? Hell no.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Hell no. And they started putting all these chat bots on my, I'm like, remove all that crap. I don't want it. Yeah. No chat bots, no anything. I'm not an IT guy that used to all that kind of stuff. And my clients don't have to be.
No.
My clients want to call me in, book an appointment. Now, having said that, I do have a system, as I said, to filter those clients, which this situation is one of them. But the client that eventually does get to us and does get to talk to me will be rewarded with more information.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I wanted to tell you is, instead of having all those 4 steps, like you're going to talk to a client, you're going to ask them for some information, they will send it to you. You'll talk to them again, some more information, they send it to you. Then you send them the price. It's just 4 to 5 things you've done and 3 communications that some people in the middle will get frustrated and say, you know what, let me call that contractor. He's probably going to give me a quick range between like 17 to 18 grand and call it a day. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but again, I don't know how you do that, but in my case, that was the problem. Because people would call me, we want to build a house. Well, to build a house is going to cost you $400 to $700, $400 to $700 a square. So 4 or 7. Well, I don't know. You can have a problem with A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's avoid all that. How do we come to our client with a more specific information? Because all the rest will overwhelm the hell out of them. Now, our job is to tell them why we're not that company.
I hear you on that. I feel like in our exploration period, I also had to manage my available time, right? I mean, we're putting out fires all the time. We're like construction firemen, and we have to prioritize what we're going to invest our time in, and we want to make sure that we're talking to the right people. I've considered those AI receptionists, and what they make them sound to be is very, very interesting. but people don't want to speak to a bot, especially if we're building high end or we're building, you're building houses, man.
Yeah.
Designing and building buildings.
What do we pay you for?
Am I going to invest in a guy that doesn't have time to talk to me?
Yeah. What am I paying you for?
So I get that. I get that. I've kind of struggled with it because I told myself, if I'm able to get this bot to know me, it could literally speak as if Eric is not here right now, but let me see if I can help you out. And this, I haven't tried it yet.
Here, let me see if I can help you out. F off. I don't want to talk to you.
I hear you.
Now I'm wasting my time.
I feel you, man. And that's why we've been such on the fence with it and we haven't done anything. Because at the end of the day, especially in an era like now and in the future, it will become more and more scarce to have humans do things. And when a person wants to connect with a human, and they do, all of a sudden you just have a free point now.
Of course.
You have a free point just because you're a human connecting with another human.
Exactly.
What I believe our success has been in this exploration period is that we have a lot of inquiries that come in from our website, from the phone, and I have this amazing colleague. Her name is Jessica. She's the glue that holds us all together. And when she speaks to a customer on the phone, she's trying to get to know them. She's trying to answer their questions. She's taking her time. These people, when they sign with us, they come back to me and they say, man, that girl, Jessica, gem. You're so lucky to have her. And I'm like, I know. So, but what we do is that we'll tell the customer, look, I can't tell you exactly what your project's going to cost. And I know the budget's important to you. If I ask you a couple questions and you're able to answer them for me, I'll try to give you a budget price on the phone, just to kind of like create a benchmark. That budget price might be between 10 to 15% away from the reality, assuming that what you're telling me is correct. If I tell you the price and it fits within your budget, I'll send my snow melting specialist to your house to do a feasibility study and to create your proposal. But that's not going to be free. It's going to cost you $300. That's what we do today. Some people, most of them, respect that. Because we tell them, look, Eric has to come, drive to your house, do an evaluation, figure out how much power you're using, where he's going to install everything. It's going to take him 6 to 7 hours to create you an accurate proposal that you can actually build with. Not just a quote, but a feasibility study with an estimate. So wouldn't it be fair to just at least pay for, a quarter of that time?
Agreed.
A lot of people will be like, oh my God, I pay this guy a consult. Forget it. Everybody's doing free estimates now. Okay, bro, well, I don't have time to waste. I can give you a budget price on the phone. If it fits for you, we'll come and do the study. And if you go ahead with the project, I'll credit you back the $300. I don't care for the 300. I just don't want to be running out there wasting my time. And I want to be able to give you actually a project that you can build. So when we do that, I would say 1% of the people argue and say, come on, send me your guy. I don't want to pay for that. And then she will have to escalate it to me and then I'll have to decide if I want to do it or not. But most of the time it pushes people away that are not there for the right reasons. It's completely out of their budget or whatever. And the other way is it establishes a level of respect between the two parties. It's like you're hiring me as a professional. I'm not asking you for a $2,000 retainer here. I'm asking you just a show of faith that you believe that I don't work for free. And I've given you the budget on the phone. So most of the time that works. And then when I come in, I do evaluation, I prepare the proposal, I prepare everything. I download the stuff from their electrical consumption portal, and we do that. Then I give you a project you can build. And one thing, and that has dramatically changed our closing rate. I sound like our sales rate.
It is. That's what it called.
Yes. But, I'm not cold calling and closing people on the phone. It's not like that. But what I mean is the amount of people that sign with us, the rate of people that sign with us versus the rate of people that I give estimates to is 95% today.
Wow.
95%. And the one thing that I changed that got me there is that I will never send a proposal by email again.
Personally.
I am traveling back to your house. I am showing you the proposal. I'm answering all your questions on the spot. I'm explaining what you're going to get.
Interesting.
Max, I cannot tell you how much of a change. It went from 50 to 95. And now it's like, she's like, Eric, I'm like, book me the, she's like, is yesterday going to be ready? I'm like, yeah, it's going to be ready. Book it for Friday. Sometime around Friday, I'm going to come and do it. She's like, you don't have any time. I'm like, listen, I can't change the formula right now. It's working.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, we've been very successful with it. Even if I don't have the time, do I want to waste the time I spent, or I put a little bit more time to try to make sure they truly understand? And I feel like when you're there and you're doing that, you're being generous with your time. You're taking the time to answer their questions. They feel like they're going to be taken care of. And guess what? The other 3 guys just sent the proposal in the mail.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to go a step further than that, use our AI tool to generate that beautiful picture of their driveway in the winter, convert it, and put down your proposal and send and come in with a report with the heating cable layout and everything. Our contractors can do that today.
Yep.
But you showed up in person. You showed up in person. You made them see the transformation. Your price was fair. You came in within the budget that you gave, or like whatever. If there was some extra things they didn't talk about, it's completely understandable. But we're people at the end of the day. That comment you made earlier about they want to speak to a human is the same thing. When you send a proposal in the mail, what do you think they do? They go down. That's the bottom line. Shit.
Exactly.
They don't even ask questions. They don't even know what's included. They don't even read anything. They'll call you with questions. I'm like, did you not read it? No, I didn't read it.
When you're there with them, they feel like, oh, but can you explain? Oh, you think maybe a little bit. They feel like they can, I wouldn't say bargain, but they can understand what they're paying for.
Yeah.
When you send it, it's like you're talking to the wall. Now, I'm sorry to tell you, I am sending it, okay? I think that your way is amazing. I wish I'm running on sites and everywhere. I wish I had the time to do that. I think it's genius what you're doing. And I wouldn't say genius from the perspective of sales techniques. It's genius for your client security.
Yeah.
You know, they see you, they know you, and you know what, I'm talking to you for a couple of hours. You're an awesome person, to be honest with you. I would definitely, if I want to do that kind of work, I will work with you 100%. I'm not even going to be looking any other places because I see the amount of knowledge and dedication and that kind of
and the
stuff.
Confidence ultimately.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
they have the confidence that they're picking the right person because you're there, you're respectful, and you have the knowledge and the education, and you know how to get them out of their problem.
It's funny, you know. I last week I've been to my client. We had an issue, and again, I'm very transparent. Like all contractors, we all have issues. The idea is to solve them, not to say that we're great and we never have issues, because that's not the truth. Okay, but we had an issue. We were doing a work, and we're connecting. It's a garden suite. We're connecting it to an existing house, and my contractor has clearly cut the concrete, broke everything, and we moved as much as we could things, and you see pile of earth, of soil,
debris
in the basement, right? Waiting to get back after we're done with the plumbing and everything. So that happened, and there was one broken tile. Okay, on the floor, not regular tile. It was vinyl.
Okay,
tile. Okay, so the client called me on site. My contractor, I brought my trade there. The client called me on site, and the client is saying something, and I found the situation of the trade is like, oh, I didn't do it. Clearly they did. I didn't do it, and the client as well. What do you refer to? Did I do it? And I see this whole monkey business
between your trades and
between
your
my trade. Yeah, I'm being realistic, between my trade and the client. And I stopped everything. And I looked at my contractor. I said, listen, clearly you've done that. Clearly that's a problem. It needs to be fixed. You're gonna fix it. To make a long story short,
on the spot.
On the spot, in front of my client. To make a long story short, it was fixed later. They finished everything. All of a sudden, I get an email like this from my client. Max, you're the best company ever. You are amazing. He's like, I know people only write bad emails. I wanted to write a good email just to see how much I appreciate you. So thank you for that. The job was done. Everything is perfect inside. I was, and by the way, I came back from a cottage up north to handle that. I was not supposed to be in the office. So that happened on Sunday. I get an email while watching UFC White House. I don't know if you watch UFC, which was an amazing event, but in the middle of that, all of a sudden I get it ruined with this email. Monday morning, I'm there fixing the situation, pretty much didn't like the situation with the trade. And he sends me this email on Thursday. On Friday, I go there again to visit the work, and we talk. And I tell him, and I literally told him that. I said, first of all, thank you very much for the email. That was amazing. I appreciate it. I love the fact that you like it. He's like, yeah, Max, you fixed everything. You've done everything amazingly. The basement looked like you've never been here. Beautiful. I said, so just to explain to you, I go, this is why you pay me. That's exactly where I get those bucks, because contractors cannot communicate to homeowners. Homeowners feel that the trades don't really listen to them.
Yeah.
Not stealing, but it's like when a trade talk to the homeowner thinking that, they can blame them, it's just so sad. And eventually the homeowner just gets defensive, which is not necessary. And just by the fact that I was there in the middle, taking at this point the side of the homeowner and not my trade, it was like, oh, really? You're actually with me on that one? I'm like, yes, I am. We're going to fix it. It's going to be, the homeowner just gets secured.
Disarmed too.
They're not alone in the situation, number one. Then, okay, so he was a little bit impatient. That's fine. A couple of days later, it was done. Everything was fixed. Everything was okay. He got happy about it. But really, I find that good contractors are not the ones that do the job 100%. It never happens. Mistakes happen all the time.
100%.
Issues happen all the time. It's how you communicate that issue, how you are able to
turn a situation around.
Turn it around and give your client security that you're going to do the right thing. And that's pretty much that's what I'm trying to tell you. What I see in you is that security, that you clearly know what you're doing. You're passionate about what you're doing. And yeah.
So we mentioned before about the fact that we need to call Max to solve this problem, right?
Yeah.
Call Max, get Max in. I want to talk to Max. At the end of the day, you have the last what's called a creative cut. What is it? Final cut.
Final cut.
You have the final cut. You have the last say.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important for the customer to know that there is a person that puts their best interests.
Advocates for them.
Yes.
I agree with you 100%.
And
that's our job.
Exactly. At the end of the day, because like you said, man, these trades guys, they work hard, but they're not patient. They don't think before they speak. They're not thinking about the repercussions of what they're saying or what they're doing. It might not have been him. I didn't do it, but maybe one of your guys did it. How do you know? We don't know. Let's not blame anyone. Let's just solve it.
They can't articulate things the way you would be able to. But also don't forget, when you have your brother on jobs, right? On site. And he tells you, I have no time for all this camera bullshit and all that. Because he's there to do work. He has no time for that. So what happens is, you either need to have somebody full-time that does customer relations.
Yes.
Which, by the way, we talked to a guy who, his brother, his job is really driving on sites and
the link between the contractor and the owner.
So yeah, they just send
customer success.
He does doors, right? And he has his brother, while his teams are doing installation, driving around the area just to make sure that the client is okay. Because what happens is, your contractors, I know they need to be nice to people. I know they need to be, but they come in and out to do the job and to leave.
Yeah.
You and I both understand that there are people that when you answer one question, they will ask you another one and another one and another one. At the end of the day, you're not being paid by the hour.
No.
You're being paid to do the job. So if you as a client, all of a sudden, not as a client, sorry, as a contractor, all of a sudden realize that you are being managed by the client and you can't do your work, that's a problem.
Yes.
And things can go wrong because now they rub you the wrong way and all that. That's why, in your case, you are a general in your business.
Right.
I'm a general in my business. So our job is to make sure that the client understand that, right? And that and that we can communicate with the client the things that the contractor doesn't have to. You know, another funny story that happened to me just yesterday. That just crazy. So, have you ever done city inspections
Or building?
for anything?
Yes, of course.
So you had an inspector on site.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Well, of course. So we had a situation. Now, you know, the inspector, before they show up on site, they will give you a phone call. They will let you, will be approximately between this time to that time.
Well, they're nice.
Make sure that's nice. Yeah. But that's what happens here, here around. Be there or be square. So what happened was we had two inspections. One inspection told us that he will be there in the morning. The other one did not even call in. So, you know, we're human. We all have stuff to do. Nobody needs to sit there and wait for you all day long.
Right. The first one gave you a time?
Yeah, so we met. My guy met him.
Right.
The other one did not. All of a sudden, I get a phone call from my client, how he's upset about the fact that nobody was there for inspections. Now, I'm calling the office. One of my construction managers is like, Max, he never emailed or texted or nothing about the time. I called the contractor, nothing. Now, the situation that happened, he actually showed up at 1:30 p.m., randomly on site, meeting my client. So they called my trade. And he's like, you know, you should have been there with drawings, waiting for me. I don't need to come here and nobody's here, this and that. Now imagine this kind of situation, okay, when the inspector is being very unprofessional, right? Because he should come in, nobody's there. Okay, nobody's here. I'll do whatever I decide without asking questions. I will send you a report, fix.
Right.
The guy calls to the contractor in front of my client, starts intimidating him, telling him how he was supposed to be on site with drawings, waiting for him and all that. And also it was raining like crazy.
Pure power trip.
Pure power trip. Now my guy, think about it this, and the client's saying, imagine from my perspective. I'm like, no. Imagine from the contractor's perspective. He gets a phone call from a guy that stands next to you, making him looks very bad in front of you unnecessarily, right? Never, he called in like 15 minutes before coming in and he's upset that my trade didn't answer. I'm like, what do you expect him to sit on the phone and wait for it? No, we got stuff to do.
No kidding.
So, okay, don't make a big deal out of it. Make a report. And anyways, to make a long story short, all of a sudden my client, and I said, listen, just because my trade wasn't very articulate and didn't speak English very well, he did it to him. I said, if I was on the other line, do you think the inspector would talk to me this way? He's like, probably not. I said, so what's the difference? What is the difference? So he pretty much showed how great he is, power tripped him in front of you, and pretty much
he's putting
took a ride on my trade's back to show you how he looks great, how powerful he is. And I said, you took the bait. Now look at what happens. I wasted an hour now talking to you about that, explaining to you that it was unnecessary. No harm actually happened. You know, of course, I'm going to go and eventually complain about it to his superiors who I know, but that's going to happen after we finish the project because I don't want to sabotage. I don't want to sabotage the project now. But situations like that happen, and our job, to go back to what we were discussing, is to solve that situation. Will a trade, a plumber, a framer, or somebody will be able to articulate that to a client? Never. No. It would be oh, you don't like me? That's how I talk. What do you want? That's it. That's how I can explain myself. What do you want? He yelled at me. I yelled at him back. You know, that kind of stuff.
I know.
So I'm always saying that we as contractors are psychiatrists as well.
100%. Psychologists, firefighters.
Yes, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
We also not scared to get our hands dirty. We fix what we have to fix. We're there at the last hour, the earliest hour.
Yeah.
And that's what they're paying, the extra,
you know,
management fee, extra, everything.
And the cool part is that sometimes you have this client who went through this kind of stuff and they call you and they're like, yeah, I want to pay you a little bit more because you're worth it. You know what? Because I don't want that crap. I don't want to deal with those trades. They're great people, but you deal with them.
Yeah.
Just make sure that the work is done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so sometimes you have those people, and sometimes you have people that actually have common sense. And when you explain to them the process of construction, they realize how much work you're doing and also willing to pay to you. And of course, there's always this percentage of people that are like, yeah, you know what, but you are 20 or 25% more expensive than this me, myself, and my hammer kind of guy. I took it from me, myself, and Irene.
Yeah.
Right? Me, myself, and my hammer kind of guy. And I'll take my chances.
Yeah.
But then they call you crying
100%.
that
100%.
they have issues after and you don't want them anymore. So when I said the filtering process, I guess what I'm trying to do with all this little bureaucracy, you know, you have to go through my administrative team.
You're also
They call you back.
also evaluating the type of customer you're going to get in bed with.
Yes, whether it's a customer that is willing to work with processes, because construction is full of processes. It's not what do you want? Plumber, okay, plumber, I'll see you tomorrow, bye, you know, that kind of stuff. Yes, there are people that work this way, but this is the way to chaos.
Absolutely.
You want the kind of people, okay, what do you want? A house? Okay, fine. Let's do design. While we're doing the design, we're going to work on the quote. Give your quote. Quote accepted? Perfect. It's still in the city for permits. Now let's create a construction schedule. Approximately, we're going to get the permits in a week. Let's do the schedule starting next month. So in a month, you're going to have from this day to this day, in my case, footing. From here to here, a foundation wall. From here to here, insulation, backfill, all that. And that's it. And you create a full schedule.
There's a system and a schedule, and it has to be respected.
And all the people are intact. All the people are waiting. And people are saying, yeah, but we're going to pay you extra because you do all that. But then how much extra you're going to pay? Like, for example, if you're doing a garden suite for rental purposes, and I'm late on you for 4 months. So now you're paying.
You're out of pocket because you can't open.
Because you can't rent it out. You can't do anything about it, you know? So I do, respectfully, I'm one of those people that can evaluate all those things. Or at least listen and understand what they're paying for. I don't want the client that is willing to drive through that wall.
You see, I haven't been able to identify if I'm walking into a difficult. I know if I'm walking into a difficult client or not, but I haven't been able to identify am I walking into a nightmare or not. I'm more on the trying to constantly make sure that the budget is approved, that I'm not wasting my time, that they have the finances, but I haven't gotten to a point yet where I can psychologically determine if I want to risk the money for the headache or drop the money because I can see that the headache is coming and it's not even worth it. At the end of the day, what are we? You give me $100,000, you're investing $100,000 with me to put $90,000 back into your house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're paying me $100, and I'm putting 90 back into your house, and for $10,000, I am giving you the service of building whatever you're building, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
So
that one mistake would cost you double of that.
So
if you went with somebody else.
Is it worth it in the end? If you're telling me that for the next month, I'm going to be dealing with you, you're going to be giving me a heartache, everything you're going to challenge me on, you're not going to respect us, you're going to talk back to my people the wrong way, all of that for $10,000, and then challenge me at the end and make me wait and not collect my money and all this stuff, it's not worth it. They keep thinking I'm giving you $100,000. Like, you're not giving me $100,000. You give me $10,000 to give you 90.
I'll give you a better example. I agree with you 100%, but I'll give you a better example that people would understand even better. If I tell you right now to invest your money, you know, like a stock market, whatever,
right,
to invest your money. Now, you can invest your money. So for investing your money, you can have a broker, or you can have...
or you can invest it yourself. Right.
Now, but you've never done that before.
Right.
Would you want to invest it yourself? And let's assume big amount. Let's assume $500,000, not $20. Because the answer is very simple. You have a lot of money that you want to be invested to get a return for your income. Are you going to invest it yourself, or are you going to get a broker? Now, when you get a broker, will you ask him all the questions in the world? Will their time cost money? You're going to say yes, because of course, you know, that's a professional person. Of course, when you go to a lawyer, to a broker, their time costs money.
Yeah.
So if you want to ask a question, you will pay. How is that different with us?
No. It's not.
We
it's not
are
different.
putting in work,
It's just a culture thing.
right?
We've established.
You're investing your money with us, just like what you said. You need to understand that our job's supposed to be paid for. Now, would you invest this money with a company that is organized and know what they're doing and can explain to you every part of the process where everything is standing? Or do you want to invest it with Mr. Me, Myself, and My Hammer because they're cheaper, because it's a one-man operation that comes to your side and like, oh, framing is done last week. HR guy, dude, I need you here tomorrow, and we have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, that's how mistakes happen.
Absolutely, and there's so much in between. I mean, we're not talking about, you know, Joe Blow contractor versus you. There's a customer that's able to see the difference. My issue is with customers who see the difference, but still they try to take advantage of you one way or another.
Oh,
That's
well,
different,
that's a difference.
And what I'm saying is that I have a hard time establishing those who those people are at the moment of agreeing to a price. I have had customers agree to a price, and then when they saw that I was able to do it in a very efficient way, challenge me and ask me for money back. I don't want to pay you the balance. It took you this much time. I mean, they're like, are you guys serious right now? We are like, are we going to pretend like we did not sign an agreement and I took all the risk? I put more people, I got it done in less time. What's the issue here? So there are people like that will always try to take advantage.
It sounds like you overcharged me kind of thing, right?
You know, I always try to, more and more now, I am spending more time talking about money with the customers. More time talking about the actual payment schedule, because it's written on every single contract. You are signing on it, but then I run into problems with them in the project. Like, you tell them, like, sir, based on our agreement, I'm going to need this payment by Friday this week. He's like, are you suggesting that I'm not going to respect our agreement? What? Some people are just like that.
But you know, people that say that probably they won't respect the agreement, because otherwise, why would you ask that question? You would say, yes, I'll give you the money.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the
Your only
case.
job, my customer, your only job here. My job is to build the entire project, deliver it within the timeline or reasonable timeline from the timeline I gave you, do it with good customer service, high quality. Your job is to just respect the payment arrangement that we agreed on. That we agreed on. We agreed on it. I'm not coming to you and saying, hey, I'm in a bad situation, pay me more because I made them. No, that's wrong.
I agree.
But we said, this is the arrangement, respect the arrangement. Now, I'm curious how, you know, you guys in the industry, construction, landscaping, we don't have deep pockets. We are not a bank. We have lines of credit. We're
not financiers.
We're not financing your job and paying interest out of our pocket to subsidize the fact that you did not pay on time. You need to finance the project. I'm taking all the risk. You just have to pony up your money that I'm putting back into your house or your building. So I try to be very clear with them with that. But in some situations, I feel like when you work with the wealthiest people, they treat the transaction as if it's like, sure, I'll send the request to my banker and he'll take care of it. Just send me your wire information. He'll take care of it. And I'm trying to play cool, like, no problem. Your payment is due tomorrow. So as long as it comes in tomorrow, we're good. But yeah, you don't want to sound desperate at the same time. And then all of a sudden, the wire takes 48 hours. Okay, I can wait an extra day. But then they made a mistake with the wiring information. And now it's not going to be on Friday anymore. It's going to be Wednesday or Thursday next week.
You find that with the wealthiest clients?
With the wealthiest customers.
I have
and here's my point. Here's my point. If I'm working with the middle class sees that I've done my milestone. They're like, man, thank you so much. That's great work. Here, let me cut you a check. You sure you don't want it earlier in case you need it? These people, bro, they want to They want to push you to the limit every time. And they don't want to be bothered. It's okay. They're paying somebody to manage their money. I'll take my money out of my investments when it's convenient for me because I don't want to lose out on that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's you're managing all that. And where I have a hard time is that when these people, when you talk to them, you don't want to seem like you're in trouble. But the reality is that
you have cash flow issues.
We have, like, we're managing a lot. You're managing a couple of projects at the same time. If a customer does not respect their payment, I've designed my payment schedule based on the milestones, based on when I need to pay my merchants, based on what I'm going to accomplish in the job. So, for example, we have our electricians come in at the last stage of the job, sometimes a month after we've done all the hardscaping outside and the heating cables are installed. So I'm not going to request a payment until I'm going to request a payment for completion of the services done at the moment I'm done. But there's going to be an outstanding 10, 15, 20%, whatever it is, of the similar value to that milestone. So when a month from now, when the electrician comes in and puts in the panel, connects it and tests it, I need that money then. So we build it like that so it's fair for both parties. You pay progressively as the work goes, but you have to put the money up front, okay, with the deposit. But where I have a problem with is that when these people don't respect that agreement and think that it's not a big deal, because I am not a bank. The other day we finished a project, a $250,000 heated staircase, beautiful job. The only thing I ever argued with the lady about the whole time was that I'm coming to pick up the payment then. Can you please be available? No answer. You show up, she's not there. 2 days later, oh, sorry, I was out of town. Sorry this, sorry that. Anyways, we dealt with it all the time. At the end of the job, thank you so much. The work was excellent. I loved working with you guys. The only thing, though, is that I had a really hard time with you guys with your finances. It's not my job to
Really? They tell you that? I've never heard that.
It's almost like at that level of people, they expect that they're working with somebody that has a bit more backing, and that it's okay. Like I'm good for it. I'm good for it. I will pay you.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I will pay you. You know I'm good for it, but just not right now. You know, like they're super comfortable with the time frame it takes them to transact.
It's just like they want to be, I guess.
Well, I mean, if they
want to be on top. They want to control the situation their way, not your way.
And they always
I'm
have
paying
to have
you
the
because I wanted to pay you now, not because you asked me now.
So if you ask me for payment at 50% completion, I'm going to make sure that it's like 60% completion, just to make sure I have always the upper. I mean, I'm not in their shoes, but that might be it. Or it's not the right timing for them, or it's not convenient for them to pay you, or whatever it is. But my point is that why can a lawyer just say, bro, if you don't pay your bill, I'm just going to not work for you anymore?
So yeah.
And here we are pushing. I don't want to pull my guys off the job. So I can be that guy.
So you're actually correct. I find, first of all, it happened to me with people that got hurt by contractors before.
Yes, of course.
And they want to make sure that I'll tell you the truth, what's going on. That's what I find. They want to make sure that if you disappear tomorrow, they have enough in their budget to finish the job without losing.
Yes, absolutely.
That's number one. That's number one issue. Number two issue, I find that, I hope nobody hears that. I'm going to say it on camera.
Say it, bro. We're already deep now.
Number two, I find distancing yourself from the money. That's important. To have a different department for it. Because the bigger, I find that clients are trying to bend the contract when they feel you're small enough to be able to do it with you. They will not do it with an established bigger company. You're not going to go and bend your contract with, let's say, Bird Construction.
Right. I get it.
Or Tridel. Right?
Because there's a difference in proportion here.
So yes. So when you're a company that can hire a lawyer, like I can hire a lawyer, they realize that it needs to be respected. Same as I respect contract, because I know that other can hire a lawyer for me. When you think that when you believe that the contract, it doesn't matter what you do and the operations, and your sales that can be millions, and your, when they meet you personally, you as one person kind of, it feels like one man operation kind of thing. They think they can bench you because you need me.
Yeah.
That's what I find the problem is. In my company, the situation is in Acadia. Acadia has departments, and I'm distant from it. Usually, the payments don't go through me. There's a different department. So if there's different department, while the client can talk to Max and ask for something, they cannot talk to this different department because the financial department, their job is very simple. If you're not getting paid within a certain amount of time, you have a phone call to call, whether it's collection, whether it's a paralegal, whether it's this, and that. So it's not like all the communication can be solved with Max. So I'm there to do the work, right? But I have the office who requests for the money. And Max might love you very much and would maybe do something for you. But this why Max doesn't handle it. Not to have to understand.
But do they respect? Because I mean, I've lived some situations where I'm not the one collecting the money. I am just informing, or our team is informing our administrative team that
So
we have completed the milestone. It's time to request the money.
So I have my team informing that.
Right.
Yeah.
They have to call and tell the customer that they need payment. And if they're late to pay, is our staff going to be the ones to put pressure on them? And
in my case, not me. I'm distant from it.
Are there penalties?
And if they need to go, yes. And if they need to go to collections or anything, they will. And if they're going to need to pay the percentage out after that, they will.
Yeah. So see, I'm still in the stage where my team is going to call me and say, hey, listen, I asked for the payment 3 times now. And he's not issuing the payment. I don't know what else to tell him. Our contract clearly states this, and that.
Yeah.
So, and maybe my fault, my weakness as an entrepreneur has always been to put the customer first.
Oh, no. But I don't want to sound like I don't put the customer first.
No, I don't. I'm not saying that, Max. Please don't take it the wrong way.
No.
I'm saying that
I understand it's not for you. It's for people that
I am always thinking. I want to make sure
customer
the
first
relationship.
is when you give them the work 100%.
We do that regardless. But what I'm trying to say is, I never want to burn a bridge. I always want our customers to be happy, and I always want to mold myself around their needs.
Yeah.
I will prioritize what's important to them versus myself. And I've done that, and I know that I've been taken advantage of in some situations. But my goal has always been to prioritize their happiness throughout the process. And so if...
But then let me ask you a question. Is not getting paid on time should make them happier?
I have my partner who would say, Eric, if they don't pay, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave.
And that's the situation that theoretically you wouldn't want to get to.
So I'm more like, bro, let's just wait it out. They're going to pay. But like, I don't want to be that guy who pulled my crew out and now made them upset because they're just trying to time their payment. Although that's the lesson that they need to learn, but that's my point, is that I'm like,
Depends how long, right?
I wasn't gonna. Yes, it depends how long.
Yeah, I just think it's a situation. Altogether, I find it's a situation. But I found that when Acadia was a smaller company and I was involved in the payment, I did have few of those clients. Not a lot, but I did have few of those clients that could communicate with me. But now it's really not up to me. And I have a department that deals with it. And it's not going to, they have specific instructions. And those instructions will not change based on
based on whatever excuse they have.
Client's position.
Right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but that being said, it doesn't mean that I'm not trying to make my clients happy. In order to make my client happy, I need to be happy as well.
Agreed. The same reason that when you agree to a price, you need to know that you're getting what's fair to you so that you can provide them the quality that you promised them.
Yeah.
don't ask me for discounts and cutting here, cutting there, because I can't work and give you the quality if I'm constantly looking to save a buck.
Yeah, if a child needs to eat, would you tell him come in 2 hours or 3 hours? You need to feed them because they need to eat. We're contractors. You know, we did the work, we need to be paid. Nobody said that you need to be paid earlier. But also in my case, another thing that I do, I don't know if in your case you can't do that, but I tie all my milestones to city inspections. So I'm not going to ask you to pay me when drywall is done.
Right. You have a specific.
Yeah. So all the inspections, whether it's footing inspection, foundation, when I'm done with the foundation and everything is backfilled, payment. When framing, mechanical and framing, structural inspection, electrical inspection passed. For rough-ins, payment. Payment. So the good part about it is that when a client pays me money, they don't need to trust us that we did our job right.
No.
They have the city tells them
right,
that we
exactly.
did our job right.
Proof.
So that's number one. But that's the pros. The cons in it are that, yes,
sometimes it can take longer.
It takes longer. You're absolutely correct. And which means that we need to have cash flow ready for that. But I found that this is the best
method,
the best situation, the best method. I don't need to prove you that I've done my job right.
One thing that we do, because a lot of our customers, well, they don't get to see the snow melt till the winter, but you're building it in the summertime. So who's to say that it's actually working? So what we've been doing on our end, I mean, we have enough confidence to do that, is that we would finish the job completely, connected, tested everything, but we'll leave a 2% balance to collect at the at the first snowfall.
But can't you just, for example, spray the driveway with water and show how it's evaporating?
I can do all kinds of things. I can do a thermal camera and show you that the heat is there. But it gives them another level of confidence that if ever it doesn't work properly or whatever, they'll come back and they'll do it.
But you know why it's genius as well? Because all of a sudden in the winter, you got cash flow.
A little bit.
You got cash flow. That's cute.
So
not a lot, but
we do that.
Well, listen, 2% out of $100,000 is like $2,000. You got like 50 projects a year, let's say, that you're doing 60.
It really brings them some money for sure.
All of a sudden, you got another $100,000 cash flow coming into the company in the difficult times when the business is not working.
Correct. And
to pay for all the expenses, to pay for the office and everything.
We do that. But when we wanted to systemize things for our contractors, it was important that the customer knew what they were getting. And I can show it to them. I can test it. That they have confidence. They know we've done this 100 times, whatever. But another contractor that goes in, puts in that kind of money, builds it, and then has nothing to prove very tangibly. So it's hard for them to collect that last payment. Not everybody might be comfortable leaving a balance like that. What we did is we built them on the mobile app, the contractors, as they're building on the Heather app. We've created something called the compliance manager. So we have systemized the installation procedure, and we have created milestones of the construction process for different applications. And one thing that we have to do rigorously, is test the heating cables at different parts of the job and document it with pictures and logging the results. So traditionally, you would do this on a piece of paper, and then you would put it in a folder, and then if you remembered, you left it at the customer's house, or you'd made a copy and left it at your office and left them a copy. But nobody ever does that. I rarely walk into any service call and I have any documentation on the project, ever. But one neat thing is that as you finish the job, if snowmelting.ca and Heather are the standard, they gave you a blueprint. You tested all your heating cables. The results are there with pictures, documented. The heating cables, you have pictures of where they're installed. Everything is checked off. You have data on every point that is important for the performance of the system. And at the end, you get a score of 100% compliance. Mm-hmm. You could now transfer that report to the end user, to the customer, and they have now proof that everything was done correctly. because our tool scans the test results against standards. So when a heating cable's resistance is, 29 ohms, for example, and you inputted 28.5, it's going to say passed because there's a tolerance of 5 to 10%. But if you entered 26, it's going to say failed.
Now there's a problem.
Same thing with the insulation test. So they get the result and you get a 100% score. One, the contractor knows you did a great job. But two, when he comes to ask for payment, he has proof that he did everything right. And they'll pay everything on the spot because everything is there.
That's amazing.
So, and one thing that is amazing, and I'm so it's so simple, and you would think at this day and age it would be like this, but you can transfer that entire compliance report and the project to the next homeowner. You sell the house, you say email address of the new homeowner is this, first name, last name, email address, transfer the entire project. Now he gets the whole project and he opens on his app and he sees, oh, my heating cables are warranted for another 6.5 years.
Oh, nice.
My contractor that built it is so-and-so landscaping, the electrician's license number is, everything is there. So we, for the first time ever, we have tied a project with the people that built it and the way they built it so that they have the most confidence, one, signing with a company that is a trusted heater installer, and two, receiving that type of documentation makes them feel like they've invested in an asset as opposed to just a feature. And then knowing that they can transfer it to the next property owner gives them that confidence that when they do sell the house and say, hey, I have a heated driveway and it works very well. And here's the transfer of information. And you're like, oh, there's actually a real heated driveway and it's in good working order.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. So it's all these little innovations that we brought when we studied what the best practices would be, and we brought it to market. And now contractors all over North America can inherit all of this education, all of this experience, everything, all the tools for peanuts.
Is your application subscription based?
Yes.
How much is the subscription?
So the Trailblazer right now is $1,250 a year.
1,250.
$1,250 per year.
$1,250 a year.
You get the entire training. It's an 8-hour course, a decade of experience in an 8-hour course with quizzes, and you have to pass it with 70% to become a trusted installer. And you get that, and you get our heating cable layout generator tool. You upload the plan, put it to scale, highlight the area, get a bill of materials and an estimate, and you can place the order. You can have the quick estimate as well, the power calculator that establishes the total consumption on the building and what's available to heat, and the visualizer tool that helps customers get pre-qualified and use it as a sales tool. And then finally, you get the compliance manager when you're building, and that's, by the way, is free. So contractors that just purchase products from us but are not subscribed on the platform, they can still use the compliance manager to build it properly and still get the proof of doing it properly and transfer it to the customer.
Very cool.
So they have everything they need. Everything they need. Like the only thing that I haven't been able to put out there as a better package is giving yet. It's a feature we want to bring forward, is that if you have multiple teams in a company, right now you only have one user for the entire company. But down the line, if you have 3 crews that are installing heated driveways, well, each foreman will have his own access.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to come in a year or so, hopefully.
Very cool.
Because the subscription, people need to understand something. When you're building tech, there are costs behind the infrastructure. Server costs, subscriptions that we pay for, all the information that we gather, how we manage all that, plus the developers that are constantly refining, debugging, fixing. So all of that costs something. Whether I have 1 guy or 100 guys on the platform, it costs us that. So there is a cost to the operation, even if it's tech, even if it's a software, even if it's that.
Yeah, but it's a small fee to have all these conveniences that you're developing for them. It's like me. Listen, I'm using AutoCAD.
Yeah.
and I pay my fee, my yearly fee as well. It's a small fee to make sure that I can use a leading edge software to do my work.
Absolutely.
So it does make sense. And I don't think that everybody now going to start developing their own softwares because it's just going to be a chaos.
Exactly.
So if you are trying to become this leading standard, well, first of all, good luck. It's a great thing that you're doing. And hopefully people will understand and use that standard. And yeah.
Absolutely.
Listen, but it was a great conversation.
I really appreciate you guys making the time and us connecting. Like, I was actually going to ask you how you guys in the new builds can benefit from a system like this designed from the beginning so that the customer saves the most amount of money.
So mainly is pretty much what you're doing is to create a system. In the new builds, not everybody is doing heated driveways, but I do believe you are going to expand eventually. I hope for you. You deserve it after all this years working hard on this. On this data. Hopefully, you're going to use it for and expand for other things. But yes, it sometimes would be cheaper for me to design something quick to show to my client as well. When it comes to heated garages, driveways, or heated floors in bathrooms, or not really, maybe, hopefully, plumbing, some kind of plumbing systems to show it to my client, to explain, to understand the price before they invest it, before we start engineering it and putting it as a spec for the house.
One thing that I find you guys have, if you have the foresight that these customers might need a system like this or eventually might upgrade to one, it's to just take that plan, the mechanical drawings, and say, look,
upload it.
In this day and age, people are heating their driveways and their walkways. Let's make sure we run a conduit from here to here so that there's no renovation that has to happen afterwards. You just fish a wire, bring everything through, or whether it's a conduit for the PEX piping or manifolds or whatever. But at least we have a provision for it.
It's great because it's really what you're creating is a shop drawing, which is awesome. The same as you need to show your client shop drawing for a kitchen, the same as you need to show the client shop drawing for their framing,
right?
Like roof systems and all that. That's as important.
It's hidden. They don't see.
But it's not about hidden. It's about even to confirm things.
Right.
Where are the boundaries? And yes, you can confirm the boundaries by just a conversation.
Yes.
Or you can confirm the boundaries by
a drawing.
Showing the system. 100%. It lighten their eyes and they're like, ooh, I can have that. That kind of stuff.
And it removes any ambiguity.
Yeah.
Were you heating the walkway and the driveway? Were you heating the whole width of the driveway or just the path?
So I definitely see that. I hope you're gonna expand eventually to other areas that have to do with it, because at the end of the day, I don't think that for your application it would have a big difference to go from driveways to different areas in the house. It's just different materials. I'm assuming that the materials that you use to heat up the driveways and the PEX that you use inside are a little bit different.
Yeah.
So really, it's just a little different material, but the idea is the same.
The idea is the concept is the same.
Implementation is also the same for you. So you're just gonna need different materials. Yeah, and I'm gonna be very excited to see it. I'm gonna check it out myself 100%. Go through your website, and I'll wait for the CAD option.
Yeah, you'll be the first to know.
Oh, man, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much. So cool.
It's awesome for you to be here. Where can people find you before we go away?
Okay, so our Instagram is heather.app and it's also at snowmelting.ca. Snowmelting.ca, you're going to get a lot of me and, controversial stuff, talking, small education clips here and there. And then on the heather.app, you're going to see demos of the platform, conversations with contractors, that kind of thing. But on our website, we do virtual demos with contractors. So if you go on our Instagram, on our links, you can get a free demo with us to go over the platform, answer all your questions, help you guys see if this is a fit. And ultimately, Heather is your heated pavement partner. Just look at it that way.
And when you said controversial, you're not talking about aliens or something?
I was gonna ask.
About what?
No aliens involved?
No aliens.
Good.
We already covered flat Earth once.
Oh my God.
No aliens. Just the things that maybe people think that is not true, or we dive into deeper conversations.
So aliens.
To challenge. Aliens, basically. Construction aliens.
Awesome. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. And until then, back to work.